It's popping, Freddie.
What is up? What is up? How's it going?
Yeah, busy as usual, man. Busy as usual. This is a good gaming week, though.
Yes, sir. I do want to ask though. I know. I guess I'm kind of backtracking by asking this question, but how's the weather over there, sir?
It's alright today. It's pretty good. 70s, regular.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me see what is over here. It feels good outside. I'm sorry. Let me see. I think it's in the 80s over here today. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, it's in the 80s. It feels good over here, man. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, how's it going? That's the first time I was co-host. Hey, what do you know?
Hey, we upgrading over here. All right, we upgrading. Hey, turn up. Um, just while waiting, I'm kind of stalling just a little bit, just to wait and see if anybody else shows up before we like officially start. But I do got to mention, right? Just because we talked about last podcast, I brought up last podcast. Drake. Since then, Drake has officially um, he has forfeited. He has threw in the towel at his Kendrick and Drake beef. So, uh, since last podcast, I know I want to give him like the benefit of the doubt, right? Because we gave Kendrick, we didn't really give Kendrick, but we pretty much gave Kendrick some time, right? And Drake still technically speaking had at least one more song he can put out, right? But even though I still feel like he was gonna lose, but I wanted to give him the time. Well, look, he officially threw in the towel. He threw in the towel, so yeah, that's over with. Kendrick officially won that beef, and yeah, not like us. All right, so we got a lot of topics though. Like we got a bunch of topics to talk about this week. It's actually kind of crazy how much it is. Man, oh man, oh man. So what y'all been playing lately?
Rise of Ronin and that 100 Heroes Chronicles with a little bit of Diablo 4 here and there.
Okay, what's the rise of what you say again? I mean, not rise of Ronin. What's the other game you said?
It's called Ewen something Chronicles 100 Heroes.
What's that about?
It's basically like Suikoden but on crack. It's like the really old Suikoden trilogy type of games where you have to go and collect like a different bunch of soldiers and heroes, and then you have to pretty much try to stop an evil force that's trying to take over the world. You know, your average JRPGs storyline, sprinkled in with a bunch of recruitment and little army strategy types of battles and stuff, and also regular RPG styles.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
They also have like single duels in it, like they did in this weekend in series. Those single duels allow you to like fight this like one singular person, like a rock paper scissors style type of way. So like you have to listen to their voice and the way they say certain words to make it seem like if they're going to attack you or if they're just going to be in defense.
All right, so Bobby putting us on something. Turn up. Okay, okay.
Yeah, if you got Game Pass, you could probably play it right now. But I'm playing
Bet.
mine on PlayStation.
Okay. So I've been playing Predecessor again. We got a brawl mode coming out. It's gonna be announced tomorrow, but it's coming out on 21st. So we'll actually talk about that next podcast because it'll be out and I'll be able to play that. But I just been on Predecessor again. Rank mode isn't out yet, so I really don't know why I'm still on it. But hey, look, it's my comfort food. I love Predecessor, so I like playing this game. Um, and I've been finally like finishing up my Far Cry 5 gameplay. Like, I'm so tired of playing this. The crazy thing about it though, I didn't play most of Far Cry 5. We on Far Cry 6 now, right? Far Cry 6 was the last release, so I'm a game behind. Um, but I've been playing Far Cry 5 most of the time when it was at 30 FPS. So now that they had got the official 60 FPS update, the game looks 10 times better, right? And then of course I'm playing on a PS5 now, so the game actually looks really good. Like for uh how long did Far let me see, how long did it come out? Five, five release. I think it came out like 2014. No, it came out 2018. My bad. So yeah, for uh, what, a 6 year old game, like it's still pretty. It looks pretty. It ain't the best thing in the world, but it looks pretty good, and it runs at 60 FPS now. So anyway, go. I'm just finishing that up. I'm finally about to beat the last boss. Like I literally have like one side mission before I beat the last boss, and then I'm finishing up going Far Cry 6.
Oh, so you haven't beat that game all the way through yet?
Not yet, no. Because how I like to play the games. Like I know a lot of people do, but I try to go in chronological order as best as I can. So I started playing Far Cry 6. Like I have that game. I bought it.
Yeah,
Then the day one.
because Far
I
Cry
think I
6
bought
takes place somewhere in the past.
it.
It's slightly in the past, because if you play Far Cry 5, you would understand how and was Far Cry 6 able to even take place then until you notice it is in the past. Because there's a cliffhanger that happens at the end of 5 that you will notice something which probably will make you scratch your head.
Okay, they not really connected though, right?
As far as I know, Far Cry 6 is slightly connected with one of them. I think it was like a certain villain in Far Cry 3. I could be mistaken. I know that
Oh, right.
I know there's a little indie thingy that like a little side quest DLC that you can get that throws you hint to boss, like it shows you that he's still alive.
Yeah, because usually the Far Cry games they have their own like separate stories. They in different locations. But Far Cry 6 do get a DLC where you can play. I think it's all three of the previous villains. So Far Cry 3 villain, Far Cry 4 villain, Far Cry 5 villain. Um, or excuse me, I don't know if you can play as them. I think you can, but I know it involves those. I don't know much about it, but I do know that those three villains are in that
Yeah,
DLC
that
for Far Cry.
they give you that little speed run where you can run through their little bits of the stories and how they died and or how they lived.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll definitely want to get into that. And then reach this cliffhanger on Far Cry 5 because I didn't know if it was one, but yeah. So that's all I've been playing. Beast, you been playing? What you been playing lately? You probably busy right now.
Nah, my fault. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, man. I've been playing Tales of Gazaria, trying to platinum that. I've been playing a Warzone, obviously, Stellar Blade. Um, and I started doing Tears of the Kingdom again because I want to beat it 100%. Also, I just didn't get a chance to. Playing games on the Switch now is hard. When you're used to playing PS5 games and PC games, going back to Switch is hard. But Tears of the Kingdom is one game that I can go back to play for sure. So that's what I've been playing.
Okay. Bet. I gotta get back on that game too. But um, so if anybody want to guest appear on the podcast real quick, or just get opinions on these topics while we're up here, um, definitely you can raise your hand. I don't want to just send an invite. I don't want to make no people feel uncomfortable or anything like that. So definitely let us know and we can bring y'all up here. But we about to start it officially. And let's do our intro. So this is FreddyJGamePlay, back with another video, back with another podcast, the Gameplay Community Podcast. We're bringing to you live right now over on Twitter. You can follow me at FreddyJGamePlay on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Threads. Where if you are listening to the Space Replays recording on YouTube, you can definitely catch us live over on Twitter. But yeah, I want to go ahead, Bob. You want to do your intro?
Well, this is all still new to me. Um, my name is Bobby, and I enjoy video games, and I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, if you ain't got nothing to plug, that's totally fine. And then Bees, you want to do your intro?
You guys got it. It's your beast. You guys can always find me here every Saturday, 11:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time. That's where I'm from anyway. Also, you guys can follow me on YouTube at You Hear a Beast as well. Also TikTok at You Hear a Beast as well. And I do a lot of content every day, live streams, game reviews, all that type of stuff. So you guys holler at me.
All right, so let's get into these topics because there's a lot. So okay, let's start with So one of the biggest news stories: Sony had released their they released their financial results for the fiscal year 2023. And it's a couple things about this. There's a couple highlights. Um, the first, or excuse me, before we even get into the financial results, right? Before we get into that, uh, Sony actually just announced their new CEOs who's going to be replacing Jim Ryan. So Jim Ryan was the former CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Now, I believe this might be I think this is the first time because we usually either only had one CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, or we didn't have one, and they were like CEOs of other department, probably either PlayStation Studios or either way it go. Now we have Herman Host, who will be the head of the Studio Business Group, and we had oh my goodness, I don't know why I didn't try to practice this before we started. Okay, the head of the platform business group will be Hideki Nishino. His last name is easier than his first name, which is surprising. I'm sorry. Let me stop. But we love Asian culture. All right, so yeah, Mr. Nishino. I'm gonna just call him that. Mr. Nishino will be the head of the platform business group. So they got two separate CEOs of Sony Interactive Entertainment now. Herman Holtz is the head of the studio business group, right? So he's going to be in charge of the PlayStation Studios. It's actually what he's already been doing. So he's going to be in charge of PlayStation first party teams, um, which covers the PlayStation IPs on games, TVs, and film. He was previously one of the co-founders for Guerrilla Games, right? That's pretty. I don't know. That's where he started at, but that's where he got his big name from, right? With Sony, and then he became. I'm not sure his whole track record, but he became the head of Sony's like first party already. So he's pretty much doing what he been doing. He just got like a pay raise and is the official CEO. While Mr. Nishino, he was he is the head of the platform business group. So he's going to be in charge of like PlayStation Network, um, um, third parties. Let me make sure. Platform. No, he's going to be in charge of platform experiences. So, third party relationships. Right, like I said before, third party relationships with major studios, indie studios. He's going to be in charge of like console hardware, technology, accessories. So a lot of the hardware with a little bit of like software when it comes to like third party and other studios. So with that being said, and he's kind of doing pretty much what he's been doing already too, because he was already in that in the platform business group, right? Oh, he was already in the doing the platform business, right? But now they have the actual two entities of platform business group and studio business group, right? And they're going to be in charge of those two. All right, so with all those details listed, how y'all feel about this?
I guess I'll go first. Um, it's always good to have two CEOs of a company, especially when you're trying to do multiple things. I guess for Jim Ryan, it was doing way too much. He had like way too much stuff to do, which made him have to retire and everything anyway. So always having two CEOs is good. I like Helmut Hurst. We've been with Helmut Hurst since first Killzone, since Guerrilla even started, and he's been ahead of PlayStation Studios for a while now. So he's been doing a great job with that. And then the other guy, I don't know too much information about it, but to have two CEOs, that lessens the load for the other CEO. So things should be moving more smoothly, maybe better communication, more better than what Jim Ryan had going on or whatever. So I think it's a good thing.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Okay, so I'm not sure if Bobby is having some problems right now. I just sent you a DM real quick, Bobby. Check that out. Because I'm not sure if he's able to speak right now. But while he's fixing that, I agree. I think it's a good thing. I think they're heading in a good direction. And one, because what Jim Ryan said, right? What he previously said was, he was pretty much tired. Like you said, like he was tired. It was too much for him. He was tired of traveling so much. And I can get it, right? I can definitely get that. Especially when I was working with the Hollywood studios, when I was working with the movie studios. I get that, right? I'm not saying I have the anywhere near the responsibilities that Jim Ryan had, but still, we can all relate to that at some point. Traveling, if you have your long distance job, you driving 2 hours to your job every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying he he only drove 2 hours, but still, anybody can get that. Now what they're coming through and saying, or Sony's moves, right, with making two CEOs, two separate. They pretty much just split up Jim Ryan's role into two separate entities, right? There's a saying, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? But at this point, I think this was necessary. Especially because our last podcast. We was literally just talking about this our last freaking podcast about how so many countries, right, does not have PlayStation Network. Mm, it's a lot of countries. The sales there. Hey, look, that's a different story, or it's not a different story. We don't got all the metrics on it. Either way it goes, a lot of countries that does not have PlayStation Network that's already playing like Helldivers 2 right now. That's on Steam. Now you got a whole person that's in charge of that. PlayStation Network. You got a person in charge of the hardware. We've been clamoring about a freaking um um another PlayStation Portal, right? Or PS Portable, a portable PlayStation. We've been wanting that. We've been saying that for a while. Um, you know, Separating those things seems like it's a good idea, right? And then you got somebody that's just focused strictly on these studios making these games, and then on top of that, right, instead of having all these people, um different people making your TVs and films and stuff like that, it it's people ain't just going out making PlayStation films and making and messing them up, right? So I think it's a good thing. I really think it's a good thing. I'm kind of stalling a little bit, Bobby, because it's saying that it's still saying. I'm not sure how to bring you back up. Can you drop out and drop back in? or restart the app, because Beast for on my end it's saying that always that. Are you okay, Bobby? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear Bobby either. I can only hear you, Fred.
Okay, yes, because on my end it kept saying he's requesting, I couldn't accept him, but now it's saying that I don't know. Send him another message real quick. And then if you want to talk about this topic, we can, I can always edit it in, right? For the video. So, so, so PlayStation talked about they released a financial report, right? Their fiscal year of 2023, and we got some tangible information, right? So we just found out that PS5 is now it has sold 59.3 million copies. Oh, excuse me, 59.3 million consoles. The PS4 during this time sold 60 million. So PS5 is literally right on the cusp of the PS4 of its sales within the same time period. With addition of having the pandemic and having the chip shortage, right? So I don't know, man. Did you say was the PS4 one of your favorites, Beast?
Nah, I said PS3 was my favorite PlayStation console of all time. But one thing we always got to remember is that during the pandemic, those game sales exploded because everybody was in the house. So they're literally exaggerated. Now, we came back to earth now, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic rather, and now the sales are starting to it didn't hit the PS4 numbers. It's damn near there though, but it's gonna start slowing down more because a lot of people who wanted PS5s got PS5s already. You know how it usually goes in the middle of the hardware generation. It always starts to simmer down. I mean, it's like I said, post pandemic, these are great because you can see Xbox sales and they're down 30% two financial quarters ago, and now they're down 30% again. So for PlayStation to be doing these numbers in a time of economic crisis, this is like an economic crisis right now. These are great numbers. Great numbers.
And you put up you just mentioned a good point too. People were in the house, so technology in general boomed, right? Because we couldn't do nothing. So that is a good point. That is a very good point. It's just so crazy how all that worked out. People were buying more tech, but we had less people working to even make the tech. That's crazy.
Man, what people were doing was getting the little checks the government was giving out, the stimulus checks, and they was going to GameStop. Yo, I'm bored. I haven't played a game since PS2. Let me go get this PS4 and let me get what's the best games on PS4 right now. I used to see them all the time, just spend thousands of dollars on games because there was nothing else to do. You couldn't go to the clubs. You couldn't hang out at the beach. You couldn't really do too much. You couldn't even be really around your family during that time. I mean, did people break that? Of course, people broke that. Especially where I'm from, people broke down all the time. We didn't give a fuck. But yeah, that they was taking them stimulus checks. They're like free money. I'm buying all the games I want. People started their gaming careers on YouTube and Twitter during the pandemic because they were so bored at the time. So yeah, definitely, bro.
Yeah, Bobby's still having problems. I'm not sure what's I'm sorry, Bobby. I don't know what's going on with the yeah, I'm not sure. And it can just be Twitter too, because Twitter be like that. But okay, so we also have, right? Let's see. We got what's up, Kakashi?
No, I wanted to quote on that pretty much during the pandemic. Everybody had money. Most people was buying like video game collections. That's why you see the rise of like all old Nintendo consoles going up because people's buying them DS games, Game Boy Advance games, PlayStation 2 games, like games that were pretty much like decent in value. Now because of the pandemic and nobody want to go outside, people charging more. Charging like 10, 15, $20 or maybe $50 more because where else you gonna get it? No stores is open, so you're gonna have to pay that money. I unfortunately didn't. I just waited.
Yeah, the technology in general boomed during that time. Because again, nobody we can't do nothing. We we was all in the house.
I had all the games. I was like, only people was buying this stuff was like, all right, cool. People's like, like the flippers and stuff like that. Those are the big shot calls, the flippers. They was buying and stuff like that, buying, random lots and stuff like that off eBay, Macari, whatnot, and just flipping them through the pandemic. Now the PS5, yeah, everybody had the stimulus checks, of course. You want the new game console to come out this year. You don't want to play on PS4. Everybody was hyped when Miles Morales was shown, and it was like, all right, cool. At the time, it was like, oh, that's a PS5 exclusive. Let me go get one.
Yeah, using that government money to pay them government taxes. Hey, turn up.
Hey, listen, man. During that time, bro, right around the time when PS5 came out, I was a satellite technician, so I was walking into people's houses. I was like an essential worker. I used to see the PS3s and PS4s and stuff like that, and I asked the people, I'm like, do you guys still play that? They're like, no way. PS5 is coming out, man. You can just take it. So in my house right now, I probably have 13 PS3s, 4 PS4s, um, 3 Xbox Ones. Like, yo, it was crazy during that time, bro. I really racked up free though, free. I didn't have to pay shit. So if I wanted to go flip it, I could.
Yeah, you just gotta clean it. Like, just flip it. Just make sure it's clean. Don't be like, DK oldies and shit like that. It's not clean, and you're good.
Nah, Visa
People
came
still
out.
looking for PS3s. They can play.
Visa
They can
came
play
out.
PS1 games. Whatever the PS3s you may have. Some of them can't play PS2 games. Some can play PS1 games.
I think all PS3s could play
Well,
PS1
all
games. It
PS3s you can
was
play
a
PS1
select
games, but
few.
not two. It's just the 60 gigabyte.
Yeah, you could. Exactly. So if you have the launch model or the 80 gig model, then you can play PS2, PS1 games, which I have two of those. And then any other one after that, there was another one that you could do software emulation on PS2. It didn't have like the PS2 chip in it, called the motion chip or whatever, motion engine. But then every other PS3 after that, you can only play PS3 games and PS1 games. So, I mean, the PS3 fats though, not to get off topic, those are like ticking time bombs. If you don't know how to like mod it so that it doesn't overheat and cook itself, those things are like dead. Cause like just like with the red ring, people don't talk about the fact that the PS3 had the yellow light of death, which I had on like 3 PS3s. So those things are ticking time bombs. The best PS3s right now to get are the slim and the super slim. Those things last forever. Just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
my
you
fat
can
PS
again,
died, bro.
you have to mod them. I don't know if y'all watch Mystic Ryan's video where he mod his PS3. I'm like, if somebody knows how to mod that, I'll send them my PS3 and pay them. And just mod that, not like get like emulation and stuff like that to make it more perform better.
You're talking about like how he had like the little cooling
Mm-hmm.
thing in the front where he could like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I did it, but I'm not that good at it. I don't
But
want to
there's
fuck his
people
shit
out
up.
there, like
So
there's a business. If you know get your skills up, you can fix that. You just charge people. Listen, I can make your PS3 perform better, 60 gigabytes, and 60 or 80 gigabytes to make it perform better.
One thing that I wanted to go back to something you said though, Kakashi. I'm gonna be real. One thing about the pandemic though, with the scalpers, I think a lot of things balance each other out when it comes to these sales because you got people. So that we had a chip shortage, but yeah, we still had a boom in technology because of the pandemic. People was at home,
Mm-hmm.
but we also had scalpers buying up all these PlayStations, but they were also selling them at an upcharged price, so that way a lot of people didn't pay for, like I myself for one did not pay for a PS5 until I could get one officially from Sony. So I'm gonna be real with you. With all those points added together, I think all that stuff balanced each other out. So that way, it's almost as if the pandemic did not happen when it comes to these PS5 sales, because the facts are pretty much still there. It's selling literally damn near the same as the PS4 and the same time period.
Yeah, like every console generation, you're gonna have people buying it. Scalpers. When the Switch 2 eventually come out, you're gonna have scalpers. Scalpers is pretty much the reason why PlayStation's at 59 million. Not all, but it's like I could get like say 10, 15 million is pretty much people scalping them. And the rest is actual consumers. Just actually buying it and stuff like that. I bought it because I was working at GameStop. I didn't want the PS5 because I didn't see any value into it. But some told me, it's like, yo, just go get that drink. Even if you don't play it, you still have a PS5 in the crib when games do come out. Because there was nothing at the launch lineup was like enticing me. Nothing but PS4 games was enticing me. I said, all right, I just turned my PS5 to a glorified PS4. I only bought one PS5 game was Miles Morales, and that's it. I didn't want to play Demon Souls. Um, I didn't want to play Destruction All Stars. It was like, all right, let's give me Spider Man. It's a short game. I can knock it out. I'm going back to playing PS4.
And so just to give y'all more and or give people more insight, right, on the PS5 sales. So most of the sales actually came from 2023, right, from the fiscal year 2023. So that's including up until March 2024, when they ended it. Um, up, let's see. So yeah, most of the sales came from fiscal year 2023. At least that was the highest point of the PS5 console sales. They sold 20.8 million in the fiscal year 2023, which cumulative is 59.2 million. For next year, they are planning on selling a little bit less. So they're forecasted for the fiscal year 2024, or at least this year, I'm sorry. But for the end of 2024 fiscal year, approximately they are aiming or they are predicting to sell 18 million. So a little bit less than this year and a little bit more on par with the fiscal year 2022. So they are predicting that they're going to be selling a little bit less. Um, and probably case in point because it's not no freaking games out right now. We don't know what's coming out this year, and there's no plans for anything really to come out this year. Um, so also what Sony detailed is that Helldivers 2 sales. Whew. So Helldivers 2 has officially sold 12 million copies in the first 3 months. It is officially the fastest selling PlayStation game ever. Ever. Beating out God of War, Spider Man 2, The Last of Us 2. Those games that what I think in total 20 million, right? I think it's up there, maybe a little bit more. In total, they have 20 million. Helldiver in their lifetime. Helldivers 2 has sold 12 million in 3 months. That's crazy. And it's the fastest selling PlayStation game ever. Whew. I got thoughts on that?
Basically, pretty much PC and PlayStation people play that. I don't see like the interest in the Helldivers. It's just like, all right, you're just shooting up cockroaches and shooting Terminator robots. Like,
Hey, a lot of people do though. It's the fastest selling PlayStation game ever.
hey, people, more power to you. It just won't appear to me. Most like the games I wanted to play this year was Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin, like from PlayStation. Other games like I don't wait for like Sony to come out with games where there's like a lot of like third party indies and stuff like that. I'm mainly more like an all around gamer. I'm not gonna wait for Sony.
No, I feel that. I feel that. I do want to get to those games too, though. I'm gonna be real with you. And I stopped playing Helldivers 2 a little bit. Like I haven't played. again, like I've been on predecessor, so that's me. Like some people be having that one game they be sticking to all the time. Even though I say I'm a multi whatever game I play everything right. But yeah, like, hey, look, the facts are the facts, man. That's and I ain't gonna lie, Kakashi, I ain't getting on you. I'm mostly talking about from my last podcast too. We didn't know the sales of Helldivers 2, but this is as for a live service game in 2024 for them to do these type of numbers. That is something astronomically huge. Pause. But yeah. So Sony has detailed their midterm vision and their long term vision as well. So for PlayStation, so for their midterm vision, let me go to it. Um, for the next 3 years, this is what PlayStation is focused on. They're focused on expanding their installed base. So of course, getting more people into PlayStation, playing their games, providing richer gaming experiences. So more freaking games to come out, and of course they should be of quality. And then enhancement of first party software and PC development. So I would say more on the lines of a Helldivers 2, right? But that's more on the PC department. They're saying enhancement of first party software. So, you know, more like the Ghost of Tsushimas of the world, right? Coming over to PC. Um, so yeah, that's the goal for the next 3 years. The long term vision. I'm sorry, I kind of lied to y'all. They didn't announce their long term vision just yet. They're actually going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about that soon, later this month. I think they said like the 21st. I believe it's the 21st. So in a couple days. So we'll be talking about that next podcast about what their long term vision is for the Sony group, especially since they got these two CEOs for the Sony group. So we'll definitely get to that. Any thoughts upon these results, these reports for Sony?
Yeah, I mean, sorry about the car in the background, my fault. Um, the Helldivers 2 thing is something that Sony's been wanting to do for a while now. They never really had a really, really, really strong multiplayer game, and the fact that this game, unknown game, yeah, the first Helldivers is completely different from the first Helldivers, right? The fact that this game blew up as much as it did, and is a massive hit, and the game is $40 too, right? It's not at full retail price or anything like that, but it damn near could have came out as a $60, $70 game the way that it's been selling. That's extremely good for Sony, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna try to do another couple of games like this. I guess that's why they kind of canned the Last of Us multiplayer game that they had planned. They had to get rid of that because they didn't feel like it was good enough. And then look how this game came out.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know, man. Y'all know me, and if you don't, hey, look, I tell Sony, look, when I feel like they doing something wrong, when I feel like something don't look right, when I feel like we getting ripped over, when I feel like they're not putting in as much effort, I tell people, like, I would tell y'all, hey, look, I don't feel like Sony is doing X, Y, and Z. They shouldn't be doing this. They should be doing this. Blase, blase. Right now, from these results, I mean, those numbers, numbers don't lie. Those numbers are looking good. The vision I feel like they have is a good vision. I feel like the decisions that they are making right now, at least from these results, you know, are good. Having these two CEOs, I really feel like Sony is they are putting in a lot of effort, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I like what I'm seeing. Hey, look, we just gotta keep they gotta keep the ball rolling. See if these plans actually. Let's see how this stuff plays out. But from the looks of it, from the vision, I see the vision, and I'm with it.
Yeah,
Let's
real
see.
quick side note. So there were several games that they tried to do back in the past to try to get that type of stuff. I don't know if you guys remember Warhawk, Mag, the Resistance series, the Killzone series. Um, I think they even added a couple. They even added multiplayer to God of War. You remember that multiplayer? God of War Ascension. This is like their first mega hit besides Fulcom, because Fulcom was a mega hit back in the day. They should bring that back, by the way. They should definitely bring that back, by the way. But yeah,
You right.
I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bring back a game like that back.
And what game you wanted to bring back? Like I like SOCOM, but it's like after the past SOCOM game, I don't know. Maybe pretty much the people that make Helldivers can make it.
Yeah, different time frame though now, so it's different. They kind of get exactly how multiplayer is supposed to be now. Oh, I forgot to mention too. Uncharted and Last of Us have multiplayers too. But yeah, I mean, SOCOM that would fit because like SOCOM almost played like the Division kind of mixed with Tom Clancy Rainbow Six, even though that's the first person, but like the same style, like tactical style play. So if they was to bring that back and actually could because that's PvP, right? And actually get that on board, that would be great. Because that's kind of the reason why they brought Bungie was to try to making these live service games easier for them, and that's falling short right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
they're falling
yeah,
short because Naughty Dog listened to them and it's like, you know what, you should not do this. And now look at them, they hit off people, and it's like you listen to them, they have like, you know, Destiny is a little bit successful, but how long is that gonna last? People still like, and you gonna listen to them from your first multiplayer game. People still play that game to this day. To this
that's
day.
true.
So it's like it's still longevity. If you just added the same thing as the last game, just some minor tweaks and updates, like from the sequel part two of the new game mechanics, you would have a Helldivers 2 right now. But instead, you listen to Bungie. And Bungie not looking good. I don't think people gonna be playing on Marathon. I think that game's gonna be DOA.
That's true. It's true.
Well,
I
that
agree
that
with that.
really depends on how Marathon comes out because the original Marathon was really good. Like it really had a lot of people invested into it. They just need to show some gameplay footage on the game to see if it's actually going to be good. But that one's not really like a PlayStation exclusive since it's going to Xbox as well.
Let's see.
Can you describe the first marathon? Because I don't even know what it is.
Shit, the very first Marathon game, I haven't played that in a long time.
Was it a what kind of game was it? Like it was a first person shooter. You ain't got to. You ain't got. You ain't got to. um, Dang, what was we talking about though?
I was honestly trying to remember because my memory for it is that's been gone for a while for that. I just know that it was a fun shooter at the time.
Okay, yeah, man. I don't know. I just hope that uh, Sony learns from Helldivers as well too. Like I mean, you got Bungie, so that's okay. But they need to learn from that stuff too. Like, oh, what other games we want to bring? That's what you asked, Johnny. I never played SOCOM. I'm gonna be real with you. That's a confession. I never played SOCOM uh ever in my life. I wouldn't mind them doing that. I wouldn't mind them doing I want them to do Resistance, and I want them to do gosh, what's the other multiplayer game? I think they should hold off on Killzone. I'm gonna be real with you. I know some people want it, so if they bring it back, I wouldn't complain about it. I mean, of course, I'm just gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? I personally wouldn't pick Killzone, at least not right now. I think that should be like a PS6, maybe PS7 type of thing. Like I really feel like that should be on ice and for a little bit until like you get like a groundbreaking reinvention or something really solid to a point where it's gonna sell. Cause I feel like if another Killzone comes out and it don't like the last Killzone was fun, but it was a little lackluster in certain departments. Bring it back with a bang, right?
Bring it back like Killzone 2, because I didn't play Killzone 3 because that shit sucked.
Yeah,
Call of Duty at that time. I played.
yeah. Killzone
I
2
was
was
like,
fun.
nah, man, I'm going back to Killzone 2.
Wait, you said you didn't like Killzone 3?
No,
What was wrong with Killzone 3?
it's trying to be like Call of Duty a little bit. It's like they're just like instead of them being their own thing, they said it's like, Call of Duty selling a lot of selling gangbusters. Let's copy them instead of just being their own.
Yeah, they definitely got rid of the weight because like what made Killzone was like when you play Killzone 2, like you felt mad heavy, like you like the
Yeah,
physics, yeah, and then Killzone 3 was more loose.
fight.
Yeah, Killzone 2 had a lot of interesting things in it. My favorite thing in general was playing as a sniper and just shooting everybody that jumped into the robot. I used to troll the shit out of people with that.
I got hundreds of hours in Killzone 2 multiplayer. Same as Resistance, but Killzone 2 multiplayer was where it's at. Hey, wasn't they trying to make a Horizon multiplayer game? Please don't do that.
Yeah,
Please don't.
but they
Oh my
changed it.
god.
Now they want to make a Horizon Lego game.
Oh no, those two separate projects. They got so okay. Hold on. So they got a Horizon movie. Is a movie or a TV series? I believe it's a movie though. They got a Horizon movie.
Well, they also have
Um,
coming out as well.
you say what? You was
There's
breaking
a
up.
God of War TV series coming out as well.
Right. So yeah. So they got those in the works. They got a Horizon remaster of like of Zero Dawn, which don't needs to happen at all whatsoever. Um, they have a Horizon Lego game talking about. They just talked about right. They got a Horizon multiplayer game. It's I'm so tired of Horizon, man. I didn't even finish two yet. I'm just it's burnt like Horizon is not even that type of IP to be milking like that. Like a lot of people don't even
On an
like.
MMORPG.
Oh, then they was working on MMORPG. So yeah, that's another one. They like literally these are all projects that either were leaked or they talked about, and I think they talked about most of them.
Yeah, because I remember everyone when they talked about the one for the MMORPG, it was like I think a PC and mobile only. It wasn't even like talked about on console.
Yeah, they said something about it going to PC and mobile, which was weird since you would think that would pretty much would go to the console itself as well.
Well, but you have to realize also they've released some of the Horizon series on the PC to try and get some somebody interested in the IP there. But like what MMORPG like because I mean the only one I can think of that's super popular, well, to an extent on console is maybe Final Fantasy 14. But the other ones I don't feel like have big numbers in general on console.
Well, we're actually getting like a good handful of MMOs soon coming to PlayStation. We have like
Yeah, that
Blue
don't mean console
Protocol and
people
then
are gonna
Chrono
play
Cross.
them.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the majority of the people who enjoy MMOs would play those games. They probably will still go back to Final Fantasy because right now that is the most stable MMO you can play on PlayStation.
Man, most people don't even like the main protagonist of Horizon. And I personally actually like
I have
Aloy
nothing
from
against
the
Aloy,
first.
but the only problem that I have with her is that sometimes she could be a bit boring. And
I
if you
don't
play the
care if
second
they
game,
ever
Exactly.
oh
made a
boy,
Horizon game again. I'm done with Horizon.
Most people, I mean, not most people, a lot of people, even if we don't share that same sentiment, a lot of people do not like Aloy. And from the second, when I was playing the second, like again, I liked it in the first game. When I started playing that second game, it was just like, okay, this it can be more of the writing too, but it's just like I feel like she did her. It was her arc happened in the first game, and it really didn't really need to
It
like.
felt
There's
like it should have been
not much
it feels
else
like a
you can
mini
do.
series where they'd be like, hey, this ain't like a we don't need 5 seasons of this. We need like a good season and a little mini series and we're done, we're good.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have made the Horizon 2, right? But still, like you said, her arc, her character arc is just it's limited. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all did what y'all needed to do in the first game.
I mean, you could say that you know a lot of people don't like Aloy, but a lot of people don't like Ellie or Abby from Last of Us 2 either.
I like
It's
the
a
That is
first one
true.
difference
A
more than
lot
I
of
though.
like
people
the
do
second
not like
one.
Ellie.
So a lot of people don't like Ellie from her decisions though. Like it was good writing that a lot of people feel. And I didn't play all the Last of Us 2, but I got spoiled on a lot of it, right? I never played Last of Us 2 yet, but I got spoiled.
Well, give it some time.
What
You
people are
might get to
saying,
play the remastered 1 and 2 on PlayStation Plus. I feel like they would probably put it on there whenever they release season 2 of The Last of Us.
facts. I do have the PS4 version of Last of Us 2 that I was just going I was going to play that.
You can
But
upgrade it for ten
like
bucks.
yeah, and that's another thing too. I'm going to upgrade it too. That's what I was thinking about. My bad.
Like, speaking of
So
Horizon, I played it. I got like about like 10 hours, and I dropped it. I dropped it from Persona 5. I was like, well, I'll get back to this, and I never did.
I finished the main story and I couldn't tell you shit that happened in that game.
That's crazy.
I'm actually with you
I,
there.
I was that uninterested in the story.
That's crazy. I literally
It,
platinumed that game twice.
if you actually enjoy Horizon, it's good. It's a good game. I'm not gonna lie, but the main story premise of that, with the not to spoil anything, is just the premise of that story is just crazy. Especially when you get to the ending of the second game.
Did you beat Forbidden West, right?
I beat both of them.
Did you play the DLC Burning Skies?
Fuck no, because I didn't even like the second one. I don't care about DLC to something I didn't care about. I preferred the first game to the second game. The second game, I literally finished it because it was like a chore. It was like I might as well finish this game. But I did not enjoy the second game. To me, it was boring. To me, it was boring. So I was not interested. Just like Final Fantasy 16, I beat it, but I wasn't really that interested near the back end of it, and I had no inkling to even play any DLC or anything for it.
Yeah, I still have to finish the DLCs for 16.
Yeah, I got it the same. I beat the first DLC. The first DLC wasn't about nothing. I hope the Tides of Fate or whatever that's called. I hope that's better.
Like even what was it, Tales of Arise, I really liked, and I think it was G Money or someone. He had played the whatever the DLC for that, which I might get on sale at some point, and he was like, "Yeah, the DLC is fine, but it's not really adding a lot to the game." As far as like if you like were thinking you were getting more of that, but I really liked Tales of Arise, but the DLC was not, at least from what I heard, not the greatest.
I just think the Horizon though, like I enjoy playing the games. It's just for you to come out with so many different projects, you got to be on point with your character
I don't
development in
want
the
a
first
game every
game,
2 years in a series.
right? And then it's just too many projects. Like, don't nobody care about the
Like I'm
Horizon world.
burned out on
People play
Spider-Man right now.
like but people play Horizon for um for the robotic dinosaurs and the graphics. That is the reason why people play Horizon. People do not play Horizon for the characters in the game. Let's be for real. And then you're trying to make all these other projects that don't involve the graphics or the freaking robotic dinosaurs like that. Like, come on now, call a spade a spade.
Well, what they're probably gonna do is because I think they have. You're saying they have a TV show or something coming out. They're probably hoping the TV show catches off, and if they have like say they have two or three projects going, if one of those is super successful, then it probably makes sense for them to do it. So they may just be trying to throw stuff against the wall and say, hey, if one of these goes off, it could be very successful for us. Even if, and then the other ones just do okay. If one of them does really well, it'll balance out the other ones.
It's the same like Gravity Rush. Like in the summertime, Sony's gonna re-release Gravity Rush 2, which I don't know why you didn't release the first game. You can release both as a double pack because they're doing that because there's a movie coming out and we seen like there was like a little snippet of like how the production looked. That shit looked terrible. That shit looked ass. But I'm happy they re-releasing Gravity Rush 2. Just hope they release the first game so people have to pay like $70 to $80 on eBay.
Right. Like people like me, because I sure ain't played. I played a demo. I have not played them games, but um, that's what. That's why I be talking about projects like Sly Cooper to come back, even the Killzone, but like the double A type of games, right? That way you won't have to penny pitch one IP to fulfill all your fulfill all your needs, right? Like,
Well, but the problem is the companies are risk averse. They rather like something that was popular and whatever. It's less risky for them to continue to milk those franchises because when you do that, right? The idea is you can make a certain amount of it that fans of the series or that world or whatever, they'll buy no questions asked unless it's like terrible, unless you burn them enough times.
but that's what Killzone come in at. Like we're literally talking about the same studio, and you talking about making a multiplayer game. Bring back Killzone at that point.
Yeah, but
Hey,
they hit.
Fred, it,
Was
that, if it
Killzone
doesn't,
that
if
popular though?
it was popular.
It
It was
was.
popular, but the thing is, the amount of money it's gonna take to make that game ain't gonna be worth what they're gonna make out of it. That's the whole problem. It's about money. They're not gonna if they can do a new IP, which everybody would rather them do a new IP than to bring that IP back. That would potentially make more money in the future versus trying to bring it back. They're gonna do that. Killzone sold, but it didn't sell as well as people think, and not a lot of people played the multiplayer as many as people think too. So they probably will never bring that back, or if they do bring it back, they'll do it just like they did with Ratchet&Clank as like a tech demo for PS6. Because Ratchet&Clank Rift Apart was a good game, but the whole reason for that game was to show the power of the SSD, right? So those type of games are only going to be released as like tech, basically walking tech demos, and they're going to just probably focus on whatever IP is working for them at the time, which is Horizon at the moment.
That's actually what they did with Killzone Shadowfall too. That it's funny that you mentioned that
That's
That's
exactly
what
what
because
they
they
did.
did.
They released that for the Killzone Shadowfall.
it's a tag demo for PS4.
They need to bring back Parappa Rapper. You see the success of Friday Night Funkin'? Like, you haven't played that game? They need to bring back Parappa
I
Rapper.
agree, you. That's what I'm saying. Like they got these other
But
and
Fred,
I agree with. I know what I know what Beast is saying, and I see why they doing it. I see what trust me. I see why they doing it, and I think Beast is right.
the problem
I
is if they
just
bring back all
I
these
just
other ones, the newer people that like are like buying all stuff, they don't only the people that've been around care about those games, and that number is going down. Like the amount of people you're gonna get into that, I don't think a lot of newer people, first time, whatever, are gonna play a lot of those older titles. We're talking about we should bring back this, we should bring who's gonna buy it?
well again. That's what I'm saying. Beast is right. I don't necessarily agree exactly with that because again, it's like it's a new IP for new people. Then so it's
But a
if
lot of
you
people
make
aren't buying the new IP even
but
now.
but hold on though. I'm just saying. I'm not I'm not saying make those older games for them to sell like a Horizon. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is bring back some of these IPs so that way you can have that double A budget and making double A sales, or having these IPs to have to make a double A project but making triple A almost type sales. You know what I'm saying? Like games like I know it's a newer IP, but I just gotta games like Seafood, right? Games like Kenna Bridge of Spirits. These types of games are important because they won't have to spend so much money trying to make these games and looking for a return of a profit of a Horizon. You know what I'm saying?
Don't forget about Stray. Don't forget about Stray.
Straight. That those are
Are, we,
perfect.
are you
That's
talking
what
about
I
the
said.
cat thing?
Yeah, I like
Hmm.
that game, bro.
Oh Lord, I'm not
Yes,
even
it
gonna
is.
try that game. I'm sorry.
It's a good
I'm
game.
not
You
saying
should
it's
try it.
not. I'm saying me personally, I don't give a fuck about a cat simulator walk, whatever the fuck that is.
Hey, it is a simulator, though.
Are you
You know what
guys?
I'm saying? And I'm
Can't
not saying
argue that.
I have nothing against people that like it, but like there is nothing like me looking at whatever. I have zero fucks to give about that game.
It's basically a puzzle simulator as a kitty cat.
I'm a dog person anyway.
Oh,
So,
There you go.
they
You
could
stay
bring
calm
back
in that.
that one game where you play as a Pomeranian and you survive in like a Neo Japan
Oh,
apocalyptic.
when did that come out? I remember seeing something for that a long time ago, but did it ever come out? Did it even sell?
It probably didn't sell that well, but it did come out on the PlayStation 4 some time ago.
It was like a cyberpunky type, whatever, was robots and all that. And I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
you had like lions, dinosaurs, and some other weird shit
I
going
just
on.
remember seeing previews or like, teasers towards the game, but I don't remember anything else outside of that.
All right, so we got Ghost of Tsushima results too. So Ghost of Tsushima is number one on PC right now,
In
and
sales, yeah, that's yeah.
yeah, it's
But what else new is out right now that it's competing against?
I'm not arguing that.
No, and I'm not saying that to downplay. I hate when people look at the Steam charts because, in all honesty, I wish we had more metrics from PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, because everyone tries to use Steam as like the de facto thing for game successes just because they're like one of the only ones we can go to that actually has numbers.
Yeah, but so Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, it's just launched on Steam, and yeah, so it's number one. Now there are some caveats to that as well though. It has no co-op on the Steam Deck. So like I think you mentioned this last week, Jack.
You can't play multiplayer?
Not on Steam Deck because the reason being is because
What do they have, an anti-cheat or something?
Nah, so you got to log into PlayStation Network for Ghost Legends.
Okay. Do they not have the way to play online on Linux then? Is that what it is?
So technically speaking, you can play Legends on the Steam Deck. However, you have to install Windows. So
no, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a component of the online. It's a Linux issue. It's where like a lot of multiplayer whatever games have anti-cheats, and not even anti-cheats, are just other components that's just not on Linux.
Yeah, same thing is BattleNet. Same thing as BattleNet. If you try to play any BattleNet game, which is like Diablo, Overwatch, and all that stuff on Steam Deck, you gotta install Windows. Or there's some other workarounds, but the easiest one is install Windows.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that you have to have Windows. So if you are playing with a Steam Deck and you did not go through the actual process of installing Windows on it, you cannot play Ghost of Tsushima. Like if you just bought a Steam Deck and you want to boot up the game and play Ghost Legends, you can't do it. Right? So again, I'm not saying that this is not a way, but if you don't go through the process of modifying your Steam Deck, you will not be able to play Ghost
Let's
Legends.
be honest, 90 to 95% of people that are playing it, they're not going to put no Windows on there.
Exactly. Exactly. So, that's something that, PlayStation they gotta work on.
It took me 4 hours just to figure out how to get Dragon Age, the original Dragon Age Origin to work.
But let's be honest, that's not something PlayStation necessarily needs to figure out. That's a thing of an adoption where Steam Deck is written on Linux, which they know there's things to kind of make Windows developed games work on there. And normally I'm normally see happen with the multiplayer is they usually pick some sort of backend or anti-cheat or whatever it is. And then later on, if those get support, then other games that all use it get support. But if they don't, the problem is, again, it's a matter of how many people actually are playing in that environment to where it justifies whoever going and putting that investment to make it work in Linux. Because people have been using Linux for years. It was like, oh, if only this thing would work. But like, it's just a matter of until you have enough people where it makes sense for them to do it, they're not going to put their development money into making it work.
Well, again, we got different stats though on that, right? Because I think that they're now okay. What I will my last thing, what I said, right? What you kind of corrected me on. Maybe it's not a PlayStation thing they need to work on. However, I do predict this. It's just a prediction based on what we learned this week. I do predict that they are going to go through the necessary steps of making sure that you can play online games on Steam Deck.
Yeah, eventually.
For 2 reasons. Yeah, but
I think, in all honesty,
CEO, right?
Fred, in all honesty, I think the push is if so a lot of times when you heard the things about for Mac, when they were trying to like, hey, you can do these different things to play all these PC games, right? They're using similar technology and software to get those working on Macs, just because of the way Mac OS, like kind of the basis of that versus some Linux stuff, right? So if Apple actually pushes more into getting a lot of these type game things that are traditionally PC ones, kind of like how the ones you would play for like Steam Deck, I think that would push it because Mac has much more, like Apple has much more say in if they want to push a lot of their stuff into the gaming side where it may not be the best, whatever, but at least it's, playable or like, can do those as an addition to. That could push it more because there's more people that have Macs than people that have Linux boxes that play or have a Steam Deck, or because Steam Deck's only sold like what 2 or 3 million, maybe 3 million.
Jack, I think we overthinking something. I'm gonna be real. Like it. Look, the facts are the facts, and the facts are, they got a new CEO specifically for the platform business group, right? So he's going to be working on PlayStation Network. They have just literally told us to our face their vision. Don't know if it's gonna come true or not. I'm not saying it's gonna come true, but this is what they're saying. They're saying the vision is to broaden their expand their install base and to enhance the first party software and PC development. Those are two specific separate bullet points that they're saying that they are working on the next 3 years. On top of that, they putting their games on PC through Steam. They don't get their own launcher, they working through Steam. I don't think it's a reason why they wouldn't allow you to play their online games on a Steam Deck within the next 3 years.
You do realize that when you say, and this is all the only one to clarify as far as for mindset, right? When they say put on Steam, you realize that probably 98 or more % of Steam users are on Windows. It's like just because you say put on Steam, that doesn't necessarily, Steam is saying Steam OS, which is the Steam Deck, is not the same thing.
Well, again, we are talking specifically about the Steam Deck.
Well, no, you're saying Steam Deck, but did they say specifically they're developing to do Steam Deck or to put stuff on Steam, which means just Windows-based computers, which is the majority of the market on Steam?
I told you what they specifically said. They specifically said they're next for the midterm. We can agree to disagree. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is what they said is that their midterm plan for the next 3 years is that they are expanding. These are the 3 things they said: expand their install base, providing richer gaming experiences, and enhancement of first-party software and PC development. On top of having 2, not 1, 2 CEOs of Sony Interactive Entertainment, one specifically for the platform. So for PlayStation, he's going to be over PlayStation Network and including more people into PlayStation Network.
Okay.
So like they are literally laying down all of the foundation to make that move.
Yeah.
So how about this, Fred? How about this? Let's get off the Steam Deck. How do we feel about a PlayStation, the rumor PlayStation Portal, that the new one that they're gonna come out with, not PlayStation Portal, but Portable that they're coming out with, runs all these games straight from Sony instead of going on Steam? How do you guys feel about that if they came out with another handheld?
Aren't the rumors for that that's only gonna be like PS4 games?
Yeah.
I heard only PS4 games, but if Steam Deck can run native games now, why wouldn't they? I don't know. That's why I say that's why they call it a rumor.
Wait. Are you trying to say that they would run 5 games on there?
I'm not trying to say if they would run 5 games, but kind of like how Steam Deck runs native games, it should be able to do it. Like running PS4 games is not helping anything.
No. Hold on a second. So the reason that they can run those games is because PC. You have to realize PC. A majority of PC players don't have those high ends that are like, quote unquote, can do better, like the 40 series and stuff like that. The high end stuff that's like more powerful than the consoles. Majority of PC players have like maybe what's equivalent to current gen or less from a power standpoint. They're not. Majority of people don't on PC don't have stuff more powerful than what the consoles are anyway. And then even when they're doing that on Steam Deck and stuff like that, that's because also they're like turning the settings down. So the power of like a console port is it's optimized to the hardware. If you're targeting a whole other architecture or hardware, then it's basically like porting it to a portable then, because they're not going to have the exact same hardware that's in a PS5 or something like that in a portable because one, outside of the power draw, that shit would die off a battery in minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like the same thing that the Steam Deck is doing, because you got to run a lot of games on Steam Deck on low, medium low, or you got to
But then
use
you're
I see
creating
what
new
he's saying.
FSR.
ports.
No, I see what he's saying. He pretty much saying that this is going to be the Sony Steam Deck. Like they're doing
No,
exactly.
I understand it, but what I'm saying is the reason they're able to get those from those ports is because those ports are usually targeting very specific target configurations of hardware. The reason the Steam Deck can do it is because the Steam Deck version of a game is there's nothing special. It's literally the PC version, which PC versions historically have always been able to target multiple things. Console ports aren't designed the way they're written to like have you target like 5, 6, 7, like all these different multiple configurations of hardware. The reason they're able to get what they can get is because they optimize for a very specific hardware.
But Jack, what he's saying though is look at the future. Look at what they're doing now. They're already porting their games on PC. So you already need different like they're allowing you to have different configurations by them bringing out.
But they're not doing it. In most cases, they're handing it off to another studio who specifically does PC ports support those. That's different than what you're saying.
It don't matter about the logistics. We're not talking
but
about
who's going to debate? It does matter. No, listen. Fred, hold on a second. So the reason I say that is part of the reason the Vita went away is because PlayStation didn't want to develop to two different platforms. If you have a portable PlayStation, the hardware is not going to be if you develop for it, it's not going to be a 1-to-1 to what the console is. So they're basically going back to the reason they say they got rid of the Vita. They're going to have to write the two different things.
Not only that, it was easy to hack the Vita.
That.
You said what?
It was easy to hack the Vita, just like the PSP.
What are you talking about hacking? We're talking about PlayStation officially.
Like hacking the PS to get emulated games.
Jack, hold on, bro. Just listen, bro. Just listen. Another thing that we're not mentioning is that they made exclusive games for their portable systems. We're not talking about making exclusive games for their systems. We're saying that it's just literally another SKU.
Another port. Like it's like doing multi-platform. Yeah, you're doing another port.
Basically, it's basically doing the same exact thing that the Xbox Series X does with the Xbox Series S.
Exactly.
You have two versions of the game. It's the same game, but it's a down. I get exactly. Lazy Gamer is right. I get it. What he's saying. Everything he said about the PS Vita. That's the reason why the PS Vita failed is because they can't develop for both of them. But if you got Microsoft doing it with Xbox Series X, and there's handhelds out right now that are more powerful than the Series S, but there's still two different modes of it. They should do it exactly like that. Just make one a portable version. What do you think about that?
Well, which ones are more powerful? Wait. First of all, which ones are more powerful than an S?
The IO Neo and the Rogue Ally should be more powerful.
I have a Rogue Ally. Right? I would not necessarily say the Rogue Ally was more powerful than an S. When people look, I've had an Ally since it came out. Look, hold on a second about the Ally, right? First of all, when people talk about the performance of an Ally, you do realize the majority of getting that performance that people are talking about requires you to be plugged in. It is not the performance on that is drastically different.
Right, Jack. Yes. We know, Jack. You're not saying anything we don't know. We understand. We're not saying that the specific hardware is stronger than the S. We're not saying that. We know that the specifics of it is weaker than the S. But the fact that you are able to use more power to get out more power, so that way you can run games better than an S.
Don't run better than an S. What are you getting this information from?
They do.
What do you mean? When you say better, define what you mean better. It's lowering the configuration, lowering the settings, lowering the resolution. The games run at higher resolutions and better settings on an S than they do the Ally. The reason the Ally is fine is because it's the 720 or 1080 or whatever. I think it's like 800. I can't remember how many people damn thing is. I think it's 1080.
Nah, that's a 1080.
It's a 1080, but most people I know run it at 720 because the battery life is bad on a Rogue Ally.
That's true. Battery life on every handheld device that's trying to run these games.
No. But a Steam Deck compared to an Ally.
That's literally just another console. Then at that point, even if you got to keep it plugged in, it's still it's like another console.
Never mind. It's fine. You got it.
Now I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think that Sony should go that route though.
They're not going to go that route.
I don't. I think that they should go the hey, look, it is literally a portable PS4 or a portable PS5. That is it. That is
a portable PS5 is crazy.
It is, but you got to think about this too. Mark Cerny know how to do those configurations. He know how to.
But configurations doesn't change the underlying hardware that's needed for what you're talking about.
He know it does. We literally just talk about
so he's inventing new hardware that we don't have right now.
Jack, you're not listening. You keep
because I'm trying to think logically. I work with computers, so I'm trying to think logically here. Where is the portable device that has that power? That where is that coming from?
What do you? I don't know what you're saying.
You're talking about doing. You're talking about making a PS5 or something close to a PS5 level portable handheld gaming system. That's just not.
I didn't specifically say
you
that.
Said
That's
portable.
What I'm saying. You're not.
You
listening.
Said portable.
You're not listening, Jack. Let me finish. Let me finish. Are you gonna let me finish?
Possibly.
What?
The man said possibly.
What I was alluding to, which I didn't say it just yet, but what I think they should do is make something more on the lines that's in between a PS4 Pro and a PS5. And what I mean by that, hear me out. Hold on. I think they should do the exact same things that they are doing with the PS5 with the specs, which as far as overclocking their components, having the SSD in there, but actually scaling back, not putting those specific parts that they have that they have in the PS5, have weaker parts, but still do the same tech that they are doing with the PS5. That way you can get the FSRs of the world. That way you can get the ray tracing effects of the world. Not saying that they should do ray tracing,
Correct.
but we know that if you target ray tracing, it's just only going to lead to more of the DS.
But what kind of device? And this one's trying to get clarification. Is this for a portable device? You're saying?
Yeah.
Again, I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm just trying to be realistic. You can say that, but does AMD or whoever whoever manufacturer, do they have hardware that can do the thing? If they don't, it doesn't matter what somebody can do, engineer. If there's not physically hardware out there that they can use to make this device, it doesn't matter. There's not people think that where is this hardware that could even do this?
Jack, they do it every single console generation.
Ooh,
every single console generation.
I'm talking about portable.
No. Right. They can do the same thing as they do. Every single console generation they do, it is a customized, fully customized. They have fully
every generation has a portable version that's a fully customized thing.
I didn't hold up. Take out portable.
No, because we're talking specifically about portable. That's my issue.
It was designed.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, hold on. Let me just finish this last point. What I'm saying is, they can do the exact same thing they're doing for their portals, right? As they doing with their console. For example, the PS4. For example, the Xbox One. For example, the Xbox 360. Those are not just PC components that they just wrapped up in the shell. They actually customize them components to work in a console-like experience.
On a portable device. Give me examples of portable devices that do that. That's my problem.
Every portable device do that.
Which portable devices were happening during the 360 that does what a 360 is? At the time that the PS4 is out, they're doing it. That's what I'm saying. You keep naming consoles that are not portable things that have battery to consider.
My guy.
Also, those consoles run at what, 50 plus watts, where even the Rogue Ally, when plugged in, only does 30 watts, where if you're going to those high wattage uses, the battery is going to be 5, 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Don't nobody care about the battery, Jack.
It's a portable device.
Don't nobody care.
Nobody cares about battery on a portable. You buying a portable device to sit in front of a charger?
Jack. No company cares about. If they did, we wouldn't be having 45 to an hour and a half experiences on these cons. On these handhelds. Don't none of them care about the battery. So why are you caring about it now?
Who are you talking about doesn't care about this? Nintendo improved their battery life. Their Switch, when it came out, they had a second version when they fixed the exploit where part of that improvement was for battery. The Rogue Ally,
Okay,
when
so
they just came out with a new version, one of the upgrades to the new version, they said was 30-40% better battery. Like,
so why can't PlayStation do that with their portable then?
They can't do it with a portable that you're talking about trying to play a PS5 game on a portable that is targeted toward a PS5. Now, if they did that, it would have to be a different port of that game.
I didn't necessarily say a PS5 game.
You literally talking about
that didn't come out of my mouth.
Just in this conversation about this back and forth fighting about it, can we just say don't have a portable system and just focus more on the hard drive that we have, like the PlayStation 5?
Because it sounds like you're asking them to make a Series S, which is everyone's complaining about was holding back the generation, and it sounds like you're equivocally asking PlayStation to now make a Series S device.
But the thing about it, though, Jack, is that I do feel like they can do that. I do feel like they can target a Series S type of thing because, again, one, I bought a Series S, and I believed in the vision. I'm not the one sitting up here saying that the Series S was a piece of crap from the beginning. I'm not saying that. I bought it and I believed in it from day one. And I feel like PlayStation can do something like that because they're already putting the games on PC. Xbox can do it. But however, the problem is the Series S. They literally made a console to sell it at $300 just so they can get people into their ecosystem. Why not make a console $400 and put it more powerful? The Series S in general is just a weak machine.
All right, so
instead of that, they could do like every other generation did, and after a period of time, they could lower the costs of, say, I don't know, the PS5, but they're not really doing that. Xbox isn't really doing that.
I will agree with that too.
So that's what I'm saying. If they followed the normal flow, they wouldn't need to make a new SKU for another device like you're saying. Technically, after all this time, the prices of the PS5 Slim, or not Slim, but the digital stuff should have came down. But when they made the new SKU for the digital, they made it $450 instead of $400. They actually raised the price of their starting model.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get off of this topic about that. So what are we gonna think about the Nintendo Switch 2 then? What do you guys think the power level is that? Is that gonna be PS4 as well?
They've already been talking about the level of that. It's probably more around PS4, maybe PS4 Pro, and that when it's docked,
like maybe
or when it does DL. Oh, go ahead.
Something like that.
You said what?
I think it's going to be at least 40 for the frame rate for it, because they'll have to find a way to either make it not too big and not too small, so they can actually do it. Unless they're going to go with a whole new console instead of a handheld.
They're doing a handheld. They already know they're doing a
handheld. Hybrid again.
Yeah. I mean, I PS4. And look, in this day and age, for PS4 type experience with Nintendo games, I do feel like they should do it. I don't think they're gonna do it though. I'm gonna be real with you.
What do you think they're
I
gonna do?
honestly think they shouldn't do
go
it because
PS4 route.
the Vita and the PSP were good, but they didn't sell that well.
You know what? Okay, I lied. I'm sorry. I take that back. I don't think they're gonna go, because I did think of this in my head. I didn't say what I was thinking for real, or what I thought for at first. I do think they should go to PS4 route, and I think they are. I don't think they're gonna go to PS4 Pro route. I think that's too much. I don't think they're gonna go that route. But yeah, I mean, if we have a Nintendo Switch with the same power as a PS4, why not?
But see, the big difference is the Switch is using DLSS and stuff from NVIDIA, while our consoles and stuff are all with AMD. Where AMD and NVIDIA they're in different paths. AMD is trying to get up to that area, but a lot of what people are saying that the extra playing it like performance type things are from the fact that it's getting the boost from the DLSS, which we can't get from console stuff because the consoles are all AMD.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I don't really necessarily care about the specs. Are they gonna be pushing the games on these handhelds. If PlayStation's doing one, Xbox is doing one because they see how the Rogue and the MSI and all of that is doing, and the Legion or the Lenovo or whatever. What are the gaming experiences going to be? Because it
60
can
frames.
look good, it can run good, it can do all of this good, but Nintendo has shown time and time again they've been running off of 15-year-old hardware. Well, let me see. Yeah, about 15 years old worth of hardware and been giving us banger after banger after banger
Yeah, because that's
for
mostly their
almost
first
10
party
years.
stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is if we're buying these consoles, right, lazy, I'm buying it because I can't get that experience nowhere else, right?
But the
I
experience
think
should
that's
be
what we
good. It should be at 60 frames, 1080p, beyond 1080p.
exactly, because that's what you're paying for. So if you paying for that, if the I mean, yeah, you should get that, but I'm saying if the games it could look good all day and it could still be trash. So that's all I'm saying is if the gameplay is good, I don't necessarily at this point
Yeah.
care about graphics and stuff like that. Just make sure the gameplay is good
Yeah.
and it runs good. Like I think
But
that's
DJ, the reason the stuff like the Steam Decks and the Allies and the Legions and all that stuff, the reason those like developing games for those are not hard is because they're not really developing games for those. They're literally just PC games. All those
yeah, porting it
devices are
over.
literally just gaming laptops in a form factor that is like the device. So there's
Yeah,
not
that's
like
what
specific. There's tweaks people make, like even Project was it CD Project Red's what is it Cyberpunk? There's literally a Steam Deck setting that says, "Hey,
version.
configure this,
Yeah.
do this." Yeah, it's not. No, it's not a
Yeah. So
version.
so
It's
that's my
literally a
point. So that's my
preset.
point, lazy.
It's a
That's my point,
preset
lazy.
Windows conversion. They didn't make a different version of the game. They said, "Hey, this is settings
No,
that
that
when we tested, it made sense for a PC configuration."
so that's my point, lazy. Now that they got it's rumblings of them coming into this space, right? And you already got these other products out there, right? The focus should go back on the games. I think it has gotten so graphic intensive and performance intensive that they have ballooned the business up to where now it's unsustainable. That's why you got all these layoffs. That's why you got all these studios closing down. Because if Hi-Fi Rush can come out and it's a bomb ass game and it does 3 million in sales and that's a flop, that's a problem. The gaming industry has
I
gotten
don't.
to where the movie industry has been because it's too big to fail. If a movie come
Yeah,
out
but
and it's a big
DJ, but for the game you're talking about, regardless of how successful, because I played Hi-Fi Rush, I enjoyed it, right? The track record, though, if you look at all the other games they made, the Evils Within or what else, those games, regardless if they, I actually enjoyed a lot of them. They did historically, they just didn't sell well. So it wasn't like
so
even if
that's
Hi-Fi
my
Rush
whole
was
that's
like
my whole
a bomb
point.
ass
That
game.
that's my whole
Historically, they just weren't selling in general. It wasn't. It didn't matter how well. Like they would have had to sell like probably 10
Because
times as
Microsoft
much.
didn't
that's
fucking
my
promote the
whole point.
game.
That's my whole point is that if we need to come off of this graphics hill, this performance hill, and just make great games that don't break the bank. And it might have to
No,
come
and
from
that's
the
fine.
indie.
But we've have a lot of good games that were like received very well. They did like what is it? Alan Wake 2 didn't sell well at all, but it was a really good game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying because because we focus and we want the big feature presentation, but
Who is the
then
we? It's because normal people that aren't the people like us that play those games, the majority of the people that are playing on consoles don't care about those games. They're not buying them. We can't change other people not buying. It don't matter how good the game is. There's still people that haven't played a lot of these exclusives that ever like. There's still a lot of people that haven't played Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation. Like there's just a lot of games on all stations that like a lot of these people just aren't buying or playing. We can't make them buy it if they're not gonna buy it.
Yeah,
so
I
there's
think it's two
yeah,
sides to the coins
yeah.
though, DJ Killzone. Like it's I get what you're saying, yes, because it is about the games. First and foremost, we are about the games. We are gamers, they are game companies. The first thing is about the games, but there are other factors to that too. It's not just about it is about making great games. Don't get me wrong. That's the main focus. The main focus. But there are sub categories to that I feel like is also important. Let me play devil's advocate real quick. Let me play devil's advocate. What if We get games come out, great games, great gameplay, compelling stories, everything, but they are running at 480p, 15 frames per second. People don't even want to play Mortal Kombat on Switch because of how it looks.
But that's what I'm saying.
Not
Like
saying that it's
you
the
got,
most
but that's what I'm
amazing
saying. You
game, but
got.
still, you know.
I'm saying you bring up, like, I've been playing a lot of indie games lately, like been playing and reviewing them and stuff like that. And I'm having more fun playing those games than I am playing the big AAA or AA console games, because those games, yeah, they can run at 30 or 60 frames. I'm not saying it can't be playable. I'm saying that the emphasis is always on the performance, the graphics, and that's where the money is being spent, and it's making these games too big to fail, and it's not always spent on the gameplay, on the mechanics, and that's why I feel like the people who are casual, or they get what they get because they're not as invested. So the industry something's got to give, where these games that we like, the Hi-Fi Rushes, the Sea of Stars, the different even I would put Hellblade in that category, because it's not, I mean, now we would consider it a AAA game, but the first one was like a AA game by a small studio, which is still a small studio making it. They just got big corporate
I mean,
backing.
I wouldn't call Hellblade 2 a AAA though, but because it's still a
So
smaller
that's what I'm
studio
saying.
making it.
Like it needs to be a world where.
Damn, I
Yeah,
think we lost him. There
no,
you
I'm
go.
good. Yeah, I hit the Siri button on my phone. Hold on real quick.
No,
It
and
needs to
why
be.
he's in it. I understand all that. The problem is, at the end of the day, we have these conversations, like the subgroup of whatever. But that's the problem, is the subgroup that keeps having those conversations. We are a minority of their sales. The minority of the people that have the boxes. So no matter what we say or want, again, if nothing changes on the majority of people that do the Call of Duties, the sports games, the Fortnites, whatever, if they're not buying it, anything we saying doesn't make sense outside of them downscaling the graphics and the whatever stuff for like better gameplay, which I believe. But then also in that same vein, you hear a lot of people that all they care about is the graphics. And if it doesn't have the graphics, they don't want to do it. So even in the subsection that is buying them, there's clearly people that are in that section that says they don't want the games that aren't that. So like you're taking the slice of us that actually play those, and then if you scale it back, there are some people that literally won't even play it out of that subsection. The bigger problem is how do they push it to the mainstream? Like, for example, Elden Ring got more mainstream than what that sub was. The problem is that for these titles, what is the catalyst that makes people that don't normally care about these games care about them? That's the problem.
Yeah, and another thing to piggyback off of that too, right? Like I hear what you're saying. I agree with it, DJ Killzone. Let me just put it out there. I agree. That's why, again, I'm gonna say this title one more time. We needed to have another freaking Sly Cooper. Like that is a perfect game to games like that. Where you don't have to spend as much, but you can potentially. It's the potential
Yeah, but
for you to
isn't
get
the
to
developers
reap
too
the
busy
reward.
working on Marvel Wolverine and the DLC for Venom?
Nah, that's
You
Insomniac.
talking about Sucker Punch?
Sly Cooper was
Oh yeah,
Sly Cooper
Sucker Punch did
Sucker
make
Punch.
Sly Cooper. I got
It's
those companies wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of on Sony why they didn't have another Sly Cooper is, and Sucker Punch is a small studio.
How
It's
is
a
it
lot of
on them? I'm
logistics with
pretty
that.
sure when they did the
But
projections, they're not expecting a lot of sales from those.
And see, that's the
well, no,
problem
no,
right there. Is that because this is the thing. They we gotta get to a place where these developers, they might have to leave Sony, leave Xbox, and they gonna have to start going independent so that they can make these games,
But
because
no, but
Sony and Microsoft just want
what
to get
money?
that bag.
Do you not remember when Obsidian was making all those games that they had to literally crowdfund it? So like when Pills of Eternity 2 and all those come out, I had to crowdfund them on Fig. They didn't
Well,
have the
that's what.
money. These small, that's what I'm saying. They don't have the money.
But that's what I'm saying. If
but
we support,
Yeah, they
Jack,
also
like
did
you
the same
can't.
for the second one too.
Hold on,
yeah,
hold on, y'all. Like Jack, you can't say both things though. Like you can't say, oh well, they won't make enough sales with Sly Cooper. That's why not making it. But also at the same time say, oh yeah, well that game costs too much. So
Well, no, but it
We
still
should
costs
support them.
something to develop. So, no,
Yeah,
but what I'm getting at
lazy. We
is some
not
of these
saying that.
smaller studios don't have even the money for the small budget to create the games, and they have to crowdfund. And then what's the way they get around from?
but
No, no, but this is what I'm saying. This, and then here's the problem: when you do
uh
that, right? If you're a smaller one, here's the thing that ends up happening all the time: is when you start doing that and you release maybe one game every couple of years or whatever. If that game flops or doesn't do what you expect, you go out of business and you close because you're so dependent on each game to hit a certain amount, and if it doesn't, you're gone.
right,
Wait. Let me handle this
right.
one. Let me handle this one. So that's not.
Can I say
Wait,
one
wait.
thing, Beats?
Go ahead.
Just
Go
one more
ahead. Go
thing.
ahead,
Just
Fred.
one more thing. I'm sorry. That's this is why I keep bringing specifically Sly Cooper into the mix because that's a third party studio. I mean, excuse, that's Sucker Punch. They make AAA games. We don't need AAA studios to always make AAA games. Look at Insomniac. They go back to Ratchet&Clank from Spider Man. That's exactly why I'm saying like they just so every project won't be like a hit of it needs to be a hit it got to be hit or miss or they're gonna close down. They can have other projects that they're going back and forth to. That way they won't have to have so much of a budget on every single game, and
Exactly.
every single game got to be a massive
And they need to
success.
get rid of their corporate backing that looks at it like that. I think that's where it begins and ends. Is if your
You
corporate
you can't
is
you can't get rid of that because those are publicly traded companies. You can't tell your investors we don't give a fuck if our games make money.
no, but what I'm saying is you gotta find investors that want to actually who are willing to invest
No, wait,
long
wait, wait. What
term.
investor? No, 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 no. Stop right there. What investors are willfully investing large amounts of their income to not make money in return off of that? What is that?
Wait,
What is
wait,
the
wait, wait,
definition of
wait.
an investor?
Hey,
Yeah,
uh,
hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mute y'all. Y'all know y'all we all cool. Y'all cool with me? Let's have Beast say his point real quick because we getting off a little bit off topic, but let's have Beast say his points real quick. I'm
I
sorry,
just
y'all.
wanted to say one thing real quick. There is some companies, right? That would just have a game, even though the game doesn't sell, just to have it in their repertoire. To give you an example, Bayonetta don't sell, but Nintendo literally funds that game. But they just want to have that type of game in their gaming repertoire. So not every single game has to sell. So if Sony wanted to be like, hey, let's put a Sly Cooper game out just to like boost their game categories or whatever you want to call it, they can do that without it
Exactly.
necessarily
They got a
No, no,
costing
I'm
money.
subscription
not
service too.
disagreeing, but what I'm saying is if there's already complaints from them and on their things where because they have those high budget ones where they have to where like when you're talking about like from a profit margin, what their sales are, right? It's easier to do that when you have other games that can float the profit you need. But if they're already having issues where if their big budget games are not going up in profitability as far as like their like the high cost versus the sales, those things are the things that usually help those companies have the smaller projects because when you have the larger projects that can fund other things, you can do that. But if your larger projects aren't super profitable, then it's harder to say, hey, what like from a business standpoint, why would I take resources and make smaller things that are not helping the overall business and put them towards that? You can do that more easily when you have other titles that are like floating. Like Epic, the reason Epic can do their even though their PC whatever launcher thing loses so much money every year is because they're trying to get into that market. But they can do that because they make so much money on Fortnite. They can use that to funnel that. But that's what I'm saying is if they don't have a ton of profit from the larger games that are costing so much, you have more flexibility when you have some of those things bringing in the money like that, that you can fund those smaller projects. But you can't fund the small projects when you're barely making profit or not making what you need to as a company profit wise on even your larger ones. You have to have something has to give.
Unless you're
and this
Microsoft.
But even with them, we see it now that Microsoft is pretty much saying, "Look, we got to make We have given y'all 20 years. Y'all got to make us money. Y'all have had ups. Y'all have had downs, and that's my point is that some of these studios, like I said, either they gonna have to find private investors or they gonna have to put their own money up. They gonna have to go get them loans or something. Because here's the thing: it's gaming is not gonna be able to be sustained going this way if we don't have great indies and people who are making Hellblade level games. It's
Yeah.
just gonna all it's gonna be is Sony and Microsoft are gonna turn to Nintendo. They are going to only make what works, and they're gonna have to innovate and iterate on that. That's all it's gonna be. And then they gonna bleed Call of Duty, 2K, Madden until people gonna want to stop playing. That's all it's gonna be. Or they're gonna be evergreen to where people are never gonna stop playing them, and that's all that people are gonna chase is a bag. The gaming industry has became the same as the movie and the music and the TV industry. All they looking
You're
for is a
basically
bag,
you're
and
basically saying
eventually,
it became like Hollywood.
So they're operating like a business that is there to make money.
yeah. So you can't, but then that destroys the art. So that's the thing. Money and art should never ever be in the same sentence. That's why a lot of people.
You can't say that 100%.
No, what I'm saying
Well,
is
look, to segue to our
what I'm
next
saying.
topic. To segue
Wait,
to
wait.
our next topic. Yo, hold up, because that's a good segue. We talk about money and art, and let's get on to Ubisoft, because they be having all these factory type games, right? We're mixing all this money into this art, right? But now we got some artful crafts coming out when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows. So look. I know y'all been seeing
It's
this on
gonna
the
sell
timeline.
though.
I know y'all been. You say what?
It's going to sell because between all of the conversation between Assassin's Creed Shadow and everybody trying to boycott it and not boycott it, it actually raised the price of the game. People have been buying it like hotcakes and pre-ordering it as much as possible, just despite other people.
Yes. So Assassin's Creed Shadows is the next Assassin's Creed, and to the Ubisoft AAA game of franchise of Assassin's Creed. Now, this Assassin's Creed is going to be set in feudal Japan, which is a setting that people have been asking Ubisoft to do since damn near the dawn of Assassin's freaking Creed, right? It's going to be starring two protagonists. One is a female Japanese character, fictional. Um, she's going to be mostly the assassin of the game. She's going to have the famous hidden blade that's come across in all these different Assassin's Creed games. And then we also have another character who is actually based off of his historical figure um, by the name of if I pronounce his name wrong,
Yusuke.
I do apologize. Please don't take away my black card. But Yasusuke,
No, Yusuke.
I believe it's how you
Yusuke.
pronounce it.
I believe it's pronounced
Oh, it's
Yusuke.
Yusuke.
Just like in that anime show.
It's pronounced Yasuke,
Yusuke.
like Sasuke. It's with a Y.
Yasuke.
But the Y was more pronounced for it.
Damn, that's crazy. We should have did our research.
We probably should have.
Lead by example, y'all. Okay, so we got this guy, right? Yasuke. We're gonna say Yasuke. Um, we got Yasuke in this game, who is actually a fictional, a historical Japanese figure during around the times where this game is set, and he is of an African descent. So he's going to be the samurai in this game. Yes, I said the samurai in this game. Who's going to be another protagonist in this game? Alongside, I forgot her name. Damn, Naomi. I call it Naomi, but it's something else. I'm sorry. So, how y'all feel about Assassin's Creed Shadows being finally showcased, or whatever you call it?
Another franchise I'm getting tired of.
But the thing is about that though, we don't know what kind. Is it gonna be like the old style Assassin's Creed? Is it gonna be the RPG like freaking Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins? We don't know. Once I know that, then I could be like, all right, I'm actually excited for it. But if it's gonna be the same
I
shit,
Exactly.
do hope
I
it's
don't know.
longer than Mirage though, because Mirage you could probably beat in 20 hours.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
Mirage is
prefer
supposed to be a
games that
budget
are
game
shorter
anyway.
20
than
hours?
80-hour fucking Assassin's Creed with all this other shit to do.
Man, 20 hours is a long
Yes,
time,
I'm
though.
saying 20 is not bad to me.
Didn't the game come out as at $50 because it's like it was like a budget AA Assassin's
It
Creed.
was
It
a
wasn't like
shorter
a
Yeah,
game.
it
hit.
was
It didn't say that it was
$40
going to be a
because it was
budget
shorter.
game.
But it didn't really
And
progress the
they
story
did say
whatsoever,
that.
though. Like, it just gave you that
Now
little.
they did.
No, it didn't. It just gave you the story of Bayek or Biak.
No, I'm saying Ubisoft did come out and say, I'm sorry, that's just try. The Ubisoft did come out and say that their shorter games will be $50. So if they're charging full price for this game, most likely it's going to be longer than games like Mirage.
GTA got
Oh,
his hand
Jesus
up, Fred.
Christ. Okay, now I ain't gonna lie. Do anybody in here know GTA?
I think I saw him in a space, one of the other spaces.
All right, why y'all bringing up people y'all know? Come on, co-host, do better. All right, do better. All right, I'm sorry. No,
Well, I'm
I'm
no
just
longer
saying.
a co-host, so
Hey,
I
look,
can't really invite.
just reset the room. We finna let you. You know, what I'm saying, get your points off GTA. Just reset the room though. We are trying to, you know, keep it contained, right? You know, what I'm saying, we're not trying to gatekeep nobody out of the community, anything like that. But you know, it's a lot of trolls online, so that's the only reason why I say that. All right, so GTA got his hands up. What's up, GTA? How you feeling? Welcome to the Gameplay Community Podcast.
I like Assassin's Creed. The only thing is, I like the way the older Assassin's Creed was because they were like where you actually assassinate people. Because the older ones, they actually was the ones that laid the foundation as Assassin's Creed from 1 onward. The only thing is, I just don't like the other Assassin's Creed that came out after Syndicate because it went away from the roots of Assassin's Creed. Because 80 hours of gameplay of Assassin's Creed, that's good and all for what you get for your money, but it goes away from the foundations of Assassin's Creed. Because Assassin's Creed, where you supposed to assassin people, besides do like big fights back a long time ago, like where you take over land and pretty much conquer it. That's a
Yeah, I've been playing Assassin's Creed too. Like I've been on a little binge with that. You know, as y'all know me, I'm trying to play all these freaking um you know, first the first games before I get to the main games, whatever. I've been playing a lot of them, and you know, I am getting that fatigue. You know, it's the same old thing, same old thing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first Assassin's Creed that's only on current gen consoles?
Think
Was Mirage? I don't know if Mirage was on PS4 and
yeah, Mirage
Xbox.
Yeah, Mirage was on both PlayStation 4 and the
both.
Xbox, and it was. I think it's also for PlayStation 5 as well too. Yeah, because that's where I played it on.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if hopefully they're going to use that to their advantage because it seems like they've been working on this game, you know, for a minute now. They did have Mirage that came out, which was like a smaller scale type of Assassin's Creed, right? So hopefully, with all the the facts out there, hopefully they improve the gameplay significantly. Just improve the gameplay to the point where it doesn't feel like it's the same thing. And if those are in-engine graphics, from those cutscenes, you know, that's a little bit different right there. That's an improvement. So hopefully the gameplay will reflect that.
And Fred,
We just
so
have to wait
I
for when.
oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
sorry.
I was gonna say we're just probably gonna have to wait for whenever they actually show gameplay footage, which could be possibly soon with that Microsoft showcase. They might show it off there, or even at the Summer's Game Fest next month.
And Fred, and I'm just gonna mention this because the other ones that I never understand the hate about games that are like 20, 25 hours or less, because we say that, but stuff like, was it Last of Us Part 1, you can play through the main thing in less than 20 hours. Last of Us Part 2 is maybe 25 hours. God of War is like around 20 hours. Like a lot of these like games that everyone goes to Tsushima, you can do the main thing in like maybe 25 hours. There's a lot of games that people talk about all the time that are not 60, 70, like all these hours that people want, that are great games that people talk about that are like less than 30 hours if you want to just do the main part of it.
And you know what's crazy too? I enjoyed all of those games that you listed. I didn't play Last of Us 2 yet, but I enjoyed all those games you listed. The only thing about it is that I got fatigued with every single of those games you listed besides God of
Right.
War.
And
That is the
imagine if they were
only game.
longer.
Legit, like so it's like I'm gonna be real with you. I'm on that camp of like, hey,
I
look,
actually
a
would
9 hour
love a
experience.
40-hour Spider-Man game. I'm not gonna lie, because that would be really good to me. Because I enjoyed the
At that
swinging and the
point, I need to
combat.
give me a live service game. At that point, if you're trying to give me a 40-hour spot, that's like, hey,
That's
look,
why I
I
always get
spend
irritated when
40 hours.
people talk about like the length, like, oh, it's only 15 hours or it's only, I'm like, dude, but if it's a good story, normally what happens when you have shorter stuff, just like if you ever watch anime series, think about anime, right? Aren't there a couple of animes that are only like maybe 26 episodes or like super tight? Like they're not like fucking hundreds and hundreds of fluff and blah, 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 but they're like really good and you wish you had more. I would
Yep.
rather leave a game that the highs and lows of that game, that when I end that game, I'm like, I can't wait for another one versus, oh God, it should have ended by now, but here's a whole nother act. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, they're going to recycle this
Yeah, like
shit.
Horizon's
No,
Forbidden
no,
West.
no, no. A
That
better example is Days Gone, because Days Gone was a long ass fucking game. Did anybody else have a problem with Days Gone being that long?
I didn't have a problem with Days Gone. I actually enjoyed that game. Like the only major complaint that I had with it is that we probably will never see a sequel. Like the Order one, that was also a good game. Very
Yeah,
short,
like
but it
you
was a
talking
good
about
game.
Very
Order
short.
1886.
That was a
Yeah.
very short game. I like that game.
Yeah, I liked it though.
I did too. We can look. We can have different types. It's just it's so many games that's out right now that you can say is longer than 12 hours. It's most AAA games that's coming out nowadays, especially if they have an open world, which a lot of them do nowadays. They just too long. No
No,
diddy.
I
Like
mean, that's what I'm
I
saying.
like if you pay $70 for a game,
Personal
you're
taste.
hoping for a long stretch of a video game to play, right? Like I know most people probably don't have a long time to
How
play
much do
video
you
games.
spend to go watch a movie in a
not
movie theater?
necessarily though.
That's different.
Not
That's
Well,
completely
How is
that's
different.
that
different
different?
because
that's different.
if you're okay to sit down for 2 hours in the theater, then you should be okay playing a game for 2 hours.
Okay, let's not get on movies.
No, no,
All
but
right,
what I'm
so
meaning is,
so better yet, better yet.
I don't like the argument where people they equate value of like $70
By
for a game
time.
with the by the time, because like again, and a lot of times it's with filler. It's just like you literally did stuff to like remember Dragon Ball Z, like on the
Yep.
next episode and whatever. Like motherfucker, just get to it. I don't need an hour
Yeah.
of fucking. This hour is going over 3 minutes of time in real time. Like what is going on?
No, I understand what you're saying
Hey,
because I
look.
watched the entire trilogy of One Piece.
Oh my lord. Hey, look. Hey, look. So if you if you like it, I love it. I Bob, you can look. And there are people. Like I said, there are people out there before. Like I said before, when the whole 60 FPS versus the graphics fidelity, there are people out there that likes each or the other. Like it's okay. It's okay for people to like what they like. I personally I'm okay spending $70, especially nowadays. If it was in my past and I was younger, I had no money like that, to
I don't
I
know. I
can
just
go
wait
out
for
and
go
spend.
on sale. You ain't got to pay 70 because most of these still go on sale within a month or two.
That too. Like I
Ubisoft games
love sales,
definitely.
but
Like you just wait a couple months and they're
especially
$30 down the
Ubisoft games.
road.
What you talking about? What was that game with the blue people?
Oh,
Avatar.
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 That shit
Yeah,
went down quick as like
yeah.
within
Avatar
weeks.
went down to $40 the next month it came out. I was like, wait a minute.
I got that full price too.
I'll wait on the Assassin's Creed game that's coming out. I'll wait for it to go on sale because that way it'll get pretty good updates to where it'll be good and smooth. Because these games has been coming out, they've been coming out broken and buggy.
Yeah, like Star Wars
Yeah,
Survivor
Kakashi.
came out that way, and then they got a 60 patch and other stuff later on.
I'm
Facts.
just waiting on to see if the gameplay is good. Like I don't mind pretty much Sasuke being in the game. You know, all these
Yeah.
people talk about like he's a retainer, even though retainer fights in battle. The personal bodyguard of the Shogun, which Nobunaga was. Why not? Nigga was 6 foot. It's like 6 foot. Taller than every Japanese person. Why
I think
not
he
have
was
him as
almost
your person?
6'10".
Yeah, he's
I
He was basically
personal
the mountain
bodyguard.
to them.
what it actually looks like until release.
But
Because
It's $70. Like I said, if the gameplay's not it, I'll wait for a sale. I'm not spending $70 for a game and it's like, all right, it's mid. Celebrate, great game, worth the 70 bones.
And that's a game that's arguably gonna be, freaking 25, 40 hours, damn near. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
spent
saying?
92
So
hours
it's
on
like,
Celebrate. Beat it twice.
yeah, and see, and Celebrate is the opposite. That's a game that's probably like 12 hours
Now
long.
it's like about if you want to play like just straight, you don't want to do all the side quests. It's like 45 hours.
But yeah, but like just straight through with,
All right, no
it's a
side
shorter
quests. If you
experience
just want to go
though.
straight from quest to quest, it's probably gonna bring you like around 30 hours. And
That is not a 30-hour game.
For which game?
Celebrate. It's 3
If
endings.
you go long on how long to beat, the main game says its averaging people playtime is 22 hours.
Okay, that's even longer than I thought it was.
But then
Still,
again, you
like
gotta base
that's
that on
still.
skill level. Like not everybody's like some fucking pro Souls game player.
No, but what I'm saying that's the average. The thing, and even with that, people doing main and extras like what 35 hours. That's what I'm saying. These numbers are like exaggerated sometimes.
Yeah, when we talk about game length, we're specifically talking about the average, and
But most of the time, how to
going through the main
beat.com is
storyline.
very off. Like I said, it's based on people's like skill levels.
I'm gonna be honest,
because
for
I
me,
agree with
because
you
I
saying, though.
mainline games and I don't do extra stuff, it's been mostly accurate for me because I don't do the extra stuff in games.
Yeah, just to keep
Why
things
not, Lazy? Come
consistent with the
on. You should do
numbers.
some side quests. Some side quests are good in games.
In some games, like maybe Witcher, but like in a lot of other games, no.
Come
Most of the side quests
on.
was like most of the side quests
Like
is
Final
like
Fantasy
bosses.
16, fuck any side shit in 16.
Yeah, but doing most of the side quests in Final Fantasy 16 actually have like a recourse to it though. You actually see like if you do like a certain quest, those little green checkpoints, they actually have a repercussion that happens.
No, but spoiler, like I said before, I didn't even like 16. I finished it, the main story, but I didn't really like that game. So I didn't want more of it.
To me, Final Fantasy 16 is good, but it was better than 15. Because the whole boy
15 was
band,
better than 16.
no, the whole boy band thingy was all right. But if you actually play those games without playing the DLCs, you'd be completely lost on what the hell happened over the time skip.
I'm
All
gonna
I got
agree
to
to
say
disagree.
about
We
that
have our own
is,
opinions. I like 15 over 16. That's all.
all I gotta say is if I'm paying $70 for a game, I'm playing that shit 100%. All side quests and doing everything. I'm trying to go
Lazy,
Well,
full
that's the
did you?
thing is
platinum.
I don't pay $70. I wait for sales. Most of the stuff I buy. The reason I mostly buy on PC now is because PC almost never is full
Sale,
price.
boy.
So
Nah,
like
well,
even
either
pre-ordering
way.
games, I can get Assassin's Creed right now. I think for like 60 versus 70. Pre-ordering it. A lot of PC stuff you can get
And
it
they
on
got
sale already.
Ubisoft Plus too.
Well,
Yep,
yeah,
You can do
PC does
Ubisoft
get
Ubisoft
it
Plus
Plus and
on.
cheaper.
all
Ubisoft
that. Yep.
Plus too.
You can do it on
Things
PlayStation as
get more
well.
cheaper.
Well, no, they don't. Oh no, on PlayStation, Ubisoft Plus doesn't have
No.
game pass.
They
It's only on
changed it. I
Xbox.
think they changed it a couple months ago, where they changed the plus, like the more expensive one that includes the DLC. They got rid of one of the tiers, and I believe. Well, I know it's the Xbox version works in there, but I think the more expensive one also works for PlayStation, but it may just be PC and Xbox.
Yeah, it is just PC in there because I was just up on there. Now they might have changed. I got to look on there, but the last couple times I was on there.
Either way,
just PC
I
and
don't
Xbox.
I don't pay 70 because you don't have to, because unless you have to play it day one. And you can't, and like you have 0 other games, which everybody has a back catalog. I don't care what you say. I can wait. Like I still haven't played Ragnarok. And I'm just like, I'm waiting. I'll play it eventually.
Hey man,
I
when you
still want
pay
to play
games
it.
at $70, you support those devs though.
I don't give a fuck about supporting them devs. Fuck them devs. Y'all
And you
not
wonder
y'all
why you don't
supporting the
get it. And you wonder why
corporation.
you don't get a
The
sequel.
dev, no, hold on a second. The devs already got their money. You're supporting the corporation as they make more money. Are they getting residual percentages of those game sales?
Hey, I'm
No.
trying to get more sequels. That's the only reason I'm
Exactly.
buying
That's
the
This
the
is the
game.
same
reason
I
why
thing
don't care
too.
games
about
fail.
nobody
If
else. I don't need
Celeblade
another
was sold like
sequel to the game.
500,000, with all this like hoopla, people said they're gonna buy it. It's sold 500,000 in like on the weekend. You think they're gonna get another game? No. It's gonna be one off.
That's why I say support the devs. If the game
Ah,
comes out at
Hey,
No,
$70,
here's the thing.
that's
If
what I
you put
said.
your game on sale, you're putting it on sale because people aren't buying it. If people buy it on sale, you're gonna blame people because they want to save money. Like, what is that? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, but
And I'm at a point now. I don't like. I'm with lazy. I ain't tripping. And you know, he said that. Well, I ain't gonna put his business out there. We are. If you know, you know. But like you said, I'm done supporting the corporation because they don't have no pull. It's the stockholders and the shareholders and the board of directors. They don't have no say so in what's going on. That's if the last cut. And I've been saying that. I've been saying that for a whole year, and everybody thought I was crazy. But everything that I said came to light. And no, I don't want to. I mean, if I got it and want to do it, yeah. But if I ain't compelled to buy a game, see, you know, I got other shit I want
If
to do. I
Like,
want to
yeah,
travel the
majority of games
if I want
I
to see
buy
a
for
sequel to
$30
a
or
game,
less.
if I want to play a sequel to a game,
yeah, I'm with Beast and Kakashi. I'm gonna
Well,
be
no,
real
like
with you
I
because
bought day one
you can't be.
the Like a Dragon game. I love that series. I bought it day one. But also
Which like a
the
dragon.
reason I bought it, I only spent like $40-something on it on
look.
well,
PC.
you're on PC, so
But
that's
that's
different for you.
okay,
Is you're on
And
PC, that's
PC
different for
always
you.
cuts the
and it's
price when it
fine
comes
if you
out.
buy it on a sale.
No, no,
But
hold on a second.
at
But
least
you're
you're
I
not
not
buy
buying the
stuff
buying it
on
game
at
all
straight
the
from
$20.
systems,
Sony.
whatever has a good sale. Like I bought Unicorn Overload for like $40, like a month after it came out, and everyone else was paid what 60 or whatever it cost. I waited for it to go on sale and then I bought it. What is
Yeah,
wrong? Why
But
were you
that's
shaming
again,
someone
that's
for buying something where the whole reason of doing a sale is for marketing to get more sales of the game?
Nobody,
no. Wait,
whoa,
no,
nobody's shaming
nobody's talking about a
anybody for it.
sale.
I'm just telling you what I do. If I want something, I buy it. I don't care what the fuck the price of this shit is called.
Exactly.
You can say saving money or whatever. If I
I
want
mean,
something,
to
I'm
me,
gonna
it's just
buy that
being
shit.
fiscally responsible. Why overpay for stuff?
Yeah,
Wait,
You're
hold up,
not
exactly.
time out,
overpaying for
time out. I
something.
think
If that's
we,
the
As
case,
a
then I
I
person
overpay
that
think
for
we talking
stale
and
about
as a
blade.
different
person
things
that
though.
bought,
I think we talking
that's
about
what I'm
different
saying.
things. Ain't nobody shaming anybody for paying for a sale. We talking about specifically in general, just buying the game because you cannot. No matter if you bought it at $60, no matter if you bought it at $40. Now, if you bought it at $5, of course that's something different, right? But a
Well, that
twenty
means
dollar
it ain't
difference
selling no more. If they're
isn't
selling it for
that big
$5,
of a
that means they
deal.
ain't selling it no more. So they basically desperate to get any money because ain't nobody buying it. They've already got their sale. Which is
Exactly.
why a lot of
So
these games go on
that's what we.
subscriptions later because people ain't really buying them anymore. Like most people that are gonna buy it already bought it, so then it goes to subscription.
Right,
Just to
but
boost
that's
it
what
whatever
we
Yeah.
saying
subscription
though.
service they got, and they just wanted to add it there for people who didn't play it, and then that's like a thing that they do. They just boost that their services. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like if we Stellar Blade. Let's just talk about Stellar Blade right now, right? I don't know if it's on sale or anything like that.
Nope.
500,000 sales. If that game, like Kakashi said, if that game does not get a sequel, no matter if you bought it at $60 right now, no matter if you buy it when it gets on sale for $40, if you did not support that game in no type of way, or you waited till it was like $5 and you barely supported it, you cannot cry and complain that it did not get a sequel because you talking about you not, and I'm not talking about anybody here, right? Not specifically y'all,
Mm.
but if your goal is to not support the corporation and you want to, I don't know what kind of what morals you have with that. Don't cry and complain if it don't have a sequel because that's how you directly support the game getting a sequel
And I
by buying the
and
game.
I get
Mm.
what DJ and Lazy coming out. They don't want to
And I do
support
too.
the corporate and stuff like that. I get that too, and none of us do, right? We don't
Listen,
really want to just be like, here,
Well,
take our
and
money,
it's
Sony.
not
Don't do the
support. It's
development.
listen,
that
listen.
it's that I'm not. I most of the stuff I do. I'm a fucking couponer. I do Groupon. I do other shit. I make money where I don't need to do that. But that's just how I grew up. That's how I am. It don't matter how much money I make. I'm still gonna be frugal as shit.
Mm.
Nah,
And that's how you
and I
stay
get that
rich.
too.
The
That's
question
how
is,
I'm
you.
the same way
are
too.
you
But I just do it with
are
certain
you
things.
supporting the game or not? Are you supporting the
I'm
game?
supporting
Yes
the
or
game
no?
because I bought it. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I didn't have to buy it at
your case
70.
is
That's what I'm
not the
saying. Like
same.
people act like years ago, people didn't just know it was a common thing that when games came out, if you just waited a couple months, you could get almost any game back in the day for half off within months.
Yep.
That's not the same anymore. But still, a lot of these games do
well, they
go on
invented
sale.
GameStop and EB Games and all those, so you could buy the games used and instead of paying full price for it.
Well, I think
Yeah,
a
and
Or
lot of
you could just
I
people
even
game
buy
still
share,
use
people
GameFly
want to be a
sometimes
part
because
of it.
again, it's a service that's available. It's not
or
my
just
fault
game
that
And
I'm
you
share.
still
taking
support.
advantage of something that is there. If people are using the service, is keeping it in business. That's fine. Because I don't,
Okay,
again,
cool. You
also,
can
I
use that.
don't replay games. Me owning the game, that's why I don't care about subscriptions and whatever's and renting, because I don't normally, very, very, very,
So,
very seldom do I replay any game.
oh, okay. So you're more of a one and done gamer. which is okay.
To me,
because
the game, like single player games, are the experience of the story. I'm the same way with movies. I don't
very few movies
I rewatch. Yeah.
I don't know you that well, so but when you said it was sort of like the cinema, that's what I was like. Wait a minute, does that mean he only?
Yeah, it's just another way of experiencing new form of media. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Now, the only exception I do that where I mostly buy is, like, for example, I have kids that like playing games, right? So my kids, like my oldest son at his mom's, he's got a PlayStation 5 as well, right? And he has a gaming PC. But again, all he ever plays is Overwatch, the seasons. But every now and then, if I get a game that he's interested, maybe like a Spider-Man or something, he may be interested. If I ask him and he's like generally interested in that game, I don't give a fuck what the price is. I'll just buy it because I know value-wise, if I can play it and one or both my kids can play it as well, it's that much more valuable to me than saving $20 or waiting whatever the hell it is. But if it's just for me and my habits, I'm not going to do it.
That's actually understandable.
Listen, I don't like Sega because Sega be doing some dumb shit. Listen, when Persona 3 Reload came out, I said I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play the remake of the game because playing the original is a bitch to play, but that's like pretty much for the strong-willed. But I want to pretty much buy the game because I want to support the Persona franchise. It's finally time we get pretty much the game franchise get loved. The same thing with the Yakuza games. When Yakuza Kiwami came out, I was like, yo, we gotta support these games. And now look at them. We got Ishin, we got Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. If motherfuckers didn't support Zero and Kiwami 1, you will never see Infinite Wealth. You will never even see a Judgment.
But to be fair, I bought Kiwami thinking I'll get the English dub version with
I agree with you. But to be fair, I'm just throwing another context here, right? The way I got exposed to the Like a Dragon franchise is many years ago. It was like maybe 2018 or whenever it was. Is when Kiwami 1 got dropped into PS Plus. It was a free game. So once I played it there, I tell all people all the time, the reason I like Game Pass so much is literally because of Like a Dragon. Because a little bit after that, I realized, I really like these games. And then I saw those games in Game Pass PC all those years ago. And then I started playing through all of them, which then led me to buy the new one when it came out day one.
Well, I definitely
a lot
recommend...
of these services and the whatevers are what get me into franchises I normally wouldn't have got into before.
If you really enjoyed Like a Dragon, I would recommend the Lost Judgment game.
And Kiwami, you will never get none of these sequels. You will never get them to port 3, 4, 5. You will never get 6. You will never get Judgment 1 and 2. None of the Like a Dragon games for Ichiban.
For what?
You would never get those games if nobody supported them.
I did support them. I played them.
You played them on Game Pass. That's not support.
And like
but you act like they gave it to Game Pass for free.
But you got to pay. But you really bought the whole games. You didn't even support Sega.
No, but Microsoft already paid them for the subscription. And like I just said in that same statement, because they did that. Hold on. Because they did that. Listen, because they did that. What happened when the new one came out that wasn't subscription? I bought that shit day one.
Okay, after how many years?
Yeah, the difference about it though, because you said this.
But you act like if I have a subscription that I have access to a game, what fucking logic does it make to throw money away?
I get playing Yakuza 1 for free on PlayStation 1 Plus. Cool. But what about Yakuza with Kiwami 2? What about pretty much when the collection came out?
It was all on a subscription that I already had access that I was paying for.
You waited till it get on Game Pass.
How did I wait till it? No, wait, stop. How did I wait till it got on Game Pass? No, stop. Wait, let me finish the statement. No, stop.
Never on Game Pass.
Which was not on Game Pass? What are you talking about?
You waited till they get on Game Pass.
No, listen, can you finish? Stop. I said I had not played a Kiwami till it was dropped on PS Plus. At that time, Kiwami wasn't new. Hold on. Let me finish the statement. No, stop. No, stop. This is what I'm trying to explain to you timeline-wise. Kiwami 2 and those other games. Can I finish my statement?
Johnny, let him finish.
Hey, Kakashi.
I'm trying to tell you, you act like I played it on there, and then those other games already were not out. What I'm saying is I played it on there, then once I did, hey, I liked it, then I looked at what are the other games, and at that time, when I first knew about the other games, it was already on Game Pass. Because people forget, Like a Dragon and those got on Game Pass years ago, and then got taken off and got re-added later. So
2020.
So what I'm saying is, when I was aware of Kiwami 2, it was already on Game Pass. I didn't wait. It was already there.
You kind of waited, but when did you play Yakuza Kiwami 1?
No, how did I wait?
But when did Yakuza Kiwami 1 came out for PlayStation Plus for free?
That was like 2018.
Right? What?
That was like 2018 or 2019.
2018, 2019. Okay, so Yakuza Kiwami 2 was still being printed. Why you didn't support the game after you played Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Yakuza 0? They would still be printed.
I did play both of those
when they get on Game Pass. But I'm talking about
those
2018,
were already, by the
2019.
time I played those, they were already on there. Listen, it came out, and I think that's where the disconnect is happening. It came on PlayStation Plus for free, right? That doesn't mean because I played it and tried Kiwami 1 on PlayStation Plus or whatever, that literally the day it dropped, it meant it got added to my library. And at some point, I was like, let me try out this game that I got from PS Plus a while back. Again, I didn't wait for shit.
You kind of
did. By the time I was interested in those titles, it was already in the subscription.
And you played it. Like, your math is not mathing, lazy.
How is the math not mathing?
You got it in 2018, 2019, or whatever.
By that doesn't mean I played it the day I redeemed it.
Or did you play it around 2020? Like, you're not
What are you talking about?
content.
What are you talking about?
You said you downloaded the game free on PlayStation Plus on 2018, around 2018.
I said around 2018. Right? I don't remember the exact date. Whenever it was on PS
like
Plus.
I said, that's why I said 2018, 2019, whatever. During that time,
again, when I played it,
still being printed. You can still
buy the game. What I'm saying is, by the time I finished Kiwami 1 and it was instant in Kiwami 2 and stuff, when I looked online, I saw it was already available on services like Game Pass back then on PC. Or not Game Pass on PC. It was on some subscription. Either way, I remember I didn't have to buy it. I rented it or I got on subscription. And I know for a fact a lot of those I did actually play through Game Pass. But what I'm getting at is I didn't have to wait for them at the time I played it.
If you didn't support Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, you will never get none of these games. Sega will never put much interest in these games. If you support them physically, hell, you bought them digitally. If you don't buy them, they won't come out.
You can believe what you want. It doesn't really matter because, like, I'm playing Persona 3 right now on Game Pass, and I don't care because they put it on a service. You act like they gave shit away for free.
You bought a service. You never supported the company. You never supported Lab Zero.
The company made it. So how are you not supporting them if the so Microsoft bent their arm and gun to their head made them put it on the service for free?
You're buying a smorgasbord games. You're not support every game.
But we're missing the major fact here, guys. Guys, relax for a moment. All right, so we're just walking in circles. He's still playing the game though. Like, Lazy still supported it after.
Yeah, you support.
So it still gave him that choice to play it.
You're buying a service that has a bunch of fucking games.
I understand that. I know what you're trying to go with. It's just you guys are going in circles here. You guys need to relax.
He bought Infinite Wealth. So the thing is,
he's been buying other games as well.
Infinite Wealth physically, right? Why he ain't go buy the other?
No, I bought it digitally on PC.
All right,
still digitally.
If you love the franchise.
But here's
I love the franchise. So when the new one came out, I bought it.
Bought the other games.
Why would I go? No, listen. Did you not hear what I just said earlier? I don't replay games. No, stop. What sense does it make? I've already told y'all multiple times. I don't replay games. If right now today, the new one came out, Infinite Wealth, I buy that. I play that. Why would I go back and buy games that I've already played when I've already said multiple times I don't replay them? What's the point of me giving money to buy older games that I've already completed and finished with to go back and buy them now? For what?
And then here's the other thing too. I collect games that are, older games that are out of print. I can't necessarily go buy those games new. Now I did buy Dead or Alive Ultimate brand new, but that was because somebody either sent them an extra copy from the warehouse or somebody brought that in sealed and they sold it for that, and it was cheaper. It was, I think, $50 or $60, but when they put it on Xbox, it ended up being $20, and I think they selling them for $10 to $15 separately digital. So I bought Dead or Alive. I think I bought Dead or Alive 5. I didn't buy Dead or Alive 6 brand new, but I bought Dead or Alive 5 when it came out. So if somebody's supporting it, right, regardless of when they supported it, real quick, when somebody's supporting the game, if they buy at least one of those games at full price, Johnny, they don't have to go back and buy all. Just because you do that that's
My
not
nigga, you not
everybody's
supporting the
gift.
game, regardless, bro. You
I
sitting there trying to
supported the
like
game
fucking
I
go
bought.
play
He bought the
mental
brand. He
gymnastics.
bought the.
You didn't support the
But
game at all, bro.
no, but yes, he did. He
At
bought the
face
Can
brand
value,
I make a
straight up.
deal.
quick point really quick? Can I make one quick point? Because I'm gonna be real. Lazy, you said it yourself during this space, bro. That when games usually when they be going to the subscription service, usually we're not talking about first party because again, first party, they putting their games to a subscription service that's a little bit different. They're trying to promote their brand
Yeah,
and everything like that. That don't mean the game has not sold a lot. However, when it comes, I'm gonna even include second party, third party games. When these games go into these subscription services, most of the time they go in there because they are on their last leg
correct.
or they haven't sold a lot.
Yes,
Or the company pay.
So
Well, you gotta remember.
you're not really supporting the games
but
that much.
but
That's like
Fred, no, no,
buying
but Fred,
games at
no,
a
no.
five
Hold on,
dollar.
Fred. But again, also, a lot of those games that I eventually played later after that, I wasn't interested enough in that game to play it to begin with. Like I kept saying with Kiwami
I
1,
understand.
I probably would have never even gave Kiwami anything or any like Dragon a chance if it had not came to it where I was able to play it through PlayStation Plus Autumn years ago. There are plenty of things
That's
that
fair.
I
That's
never
fair.
played. I wasn't like this is the thing. Just because I play in subscription, there's games that I play in subscription. That motherfucker, like for example, Starfield. I don't even like Bethesda games. I don't like Fallouts. I don't like any of those. The only reason I even played Starfield because it was on Game Pass because I wasn't gonna buy that shit anyway because I don't fuck with Bethesda games. But I enjoyed
So
the game
then
enough. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna go back and
the
give them
topic of
and buy them the
conversation then
game.
don't
Like, no.
the topic of conversation don't pertain to you then because we're specifically talking about people who want sequels and not getting them because they're not supporting the games or like a specific studio. Like I love Sucker Punch games. I don't want to see Sucker Punch go anywhere. So I can't cry and complain if they shut down that studio
Yeah.
when I wasn't buying
Correct.
their
But
games.
Fred,
Even if I support because even if I support PlayStation Plus, that's more on the lines of what I ain't gonna lie, what y'all was talking about, more supporting the corporation instead of the
Mhm.
developers because they pay PlayStation
Hey, lazy,
pays
real quick, lazy.
so you're paying PlayStation.
You like Days Gone, didn't you?
I never played Days Gone. I wasn't
I
interested in it.
Right. Well, the reason why it never got a sequel is because there
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
enough
but
people
if I
who brought
wasn't
that game.
interested in it, you
That's
can't
what we're
say
getting
I'm a
at.
part of the problem because I just wasn't interested.
I wasn't saying you're part of the problem. Everybody can play the game and however they want. But when you talk about supporting the game, it's a little different. If you like subscriptions, you like subscription. I like subscriptions for certain games, just like you. Like I would never buy Starfield straight up, period, because I don't want to play Starfield like that. So if it's on Game Pass, I'm
Like
already
even
paying per
Hellblade
month on
2,
Game
I'm
Pass,
not
and
interested in Hellblade 2, but I'll try it because it's on Game Pass.
yeah, that's
Right. So
where we're
we
getting at. That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
But
but
if
yeah,
not
we
a
there's a
lot of
game
people
separate.
that you
bought
really
Hellblade
want to
1 on
play,
PlayStation, so that shows you there also that a lot of people didn't really feel in the mood to actually play those types of games.
And that's
Like
what I'm getting,
everybody
and
has their own
And
feelings on video
that's the
games.
part I don't understand about the conversations. I understand what we're having in there, but we also have to, again, like I was mentioning before, yes, people aren't buying and supporting it for that extent, but you realize that the mass majority of the people that aren't buying it aren't the people that we're talking to like in these spaces. It's the casual people that only play the Call of Duties and whatever, the Maddens and stuff like that. They're not supporting buying any of those games. So as
That's
a
true.
longer
That's true.
portion of, so honestly, we can blame ourselves all we want.
yeah,
That's fine. But the whole issue is expanding the market of people that are like beyond our circle that actually want to
yeah,
buy. To me, that's more important than our subset who bought it, who didn't. It's more who did you talk like? So everybody I talk to, if they ask anything about Like a Dragon, because of I always will praise the fuck out of the game. I praise the fuck out of Witcher 3 and stuff like that. Games I'm really excited about. It's spreading like that interest to people that normally don't buy the games anyway. To me, that's more important to the growth of those than individually if you bought a title or not.
fact, I think it's a that's what I've been saying about passing it down to the generations and then exposing it to the non gamers or the casual gamers. Like my cousin, right? He was a diehard Call of Duty 2K guy, and he used to make fun of me for playing God of War, playing this X, Y, and Z. But he saw me streaming all those different games, right, over the years. So it got to a point where he said, "Yo, I'm about to get me a PS5. What game should I get?" And he got God of War. He got I forgot what other games he would play. Let me go on my other phone and see what he's playing right now. But
Yeah.
My whole point
Probably
is
Ghost.
it's either through the subscription service, which Lazy pointed out, that is the reason why they created the subscription service. Because for Lazy to check out a game,
It's
he
for
does it.
visibility.
Exactly.
Exactly. I wasn't
So
going to buy Immortals of Avion, but when I played it through PlayStation Plus, it was actually a slightly interesting game.
so my
And just
next
like I
thing,
mentioned earlier in the talk, right? So like for example, my son, my oldest son, he about to be 15. This man put in over 3,000 hours of Overwatch 2 last year, and he does their season pass every year. But getting him to play like I remember I got him to play, I think, the God of War 2018. You know how many months of pestering him to even try those games or Spider-Man 2 or anything? He's just not interested in them, which is why earlier I said if any of my kids are ever like interested in a game that's like one of those, I will buy those in a heartbeat, no matter if they're full price or not, specifically because I know normally they don't fuck with those games, and I want them to expand beyond playing fucking Overwatch or these other like Roblox and all this other shit, right? I want them to
Yeah, like
expand it.
Fortnite and all those other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. So like those ones, the money ain't the thing. That's more of like I'd rather y'all get to see if y'all actually like these, and then maybe we can bond over the games that I like and see if you can like some of the genres I like, and then pass that shit on, and then maybe other people play. To me, that's more important than if I individually bought the game.
yeah, that's what I've been saying about you know building the community to go out in the actual real world to have places where like little cafes and community centers and stuff like that where we are sharing the love of different games and stuff like that because the kids they the ones that's gonna keep it going because we getting older and older. It's less and less of us and more of the Call of Duty, the Overwatch, the Fortnite, the 2K and Madden people. The only way we gonna be able to help if we actually want to see it is either we go out and we campaign outside of our bubble to people who are non-gamers, and we start looking for people that look like us, um, and that actually can make the game, market the game, fund the game, and sell the game ourselves. We can't wait on
Hey
PlayStation.
DJ, that's the same thing I was saying. You're 100% right. We had this conversation in the space before with all the kids. The only games they want to play is Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of Duty, all the free to play games, that stuff, and they can never experience that other games. You're 110% right with that. We had that
Well, to
conversation
to be
before.
fair, also a lot of kids don't really have that much money to go for things, so they have to play the things
Yeah.
that are free.
Well, no. So yeah, that's what I mentioned before. So like I sometimes with Microsoft we do like little STEM projects with like elementary schools and other stuff like right. And then we'll do like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, like tech wise, and game development maybe you want or stuff, right? So a lot of times when we have those, you ask them what games they're playing. It's always like the Minecrafts or Fortnite or stuff like that. And like
Roblox,
sometimes,
etc.
yeah, yeah. And then when you ask their parents about like a lot of times, some of these kids only have an iPad, or if they have a device, they maybe have an Xbox or well, let's be honest, most of them have a PlayStation, they have a console, right? But a lot of them, all they're doing is playing those one or two games. And if I ask them about other ones, it's like, oh, you should be interested in this other thing. And you talk to their parents like, is that free to play? Oh no, then we're good. They like even with some of the parents are like, hey, you can have these systems and play these things, but they do it knowing that it's not a constant like money thing they have to do, where they can still enjoy it. It's free to play. It gives them an outlet to play some of the stuff with their friends and all that, but it's not a constant like extra bill where maybe that stuff is not like money is not as readily available in those families.
Right, right.
And there we
All right,
go.
so let's get off this topic now. So we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is Square trying to change their plans to go multi-platform. So, they said that the sales for 16 were okay, the sales for 7 Rebirth were okay, but they wasn't good enough. How do you guys feel about them going multi-plat and putting all their games on basically everything?
If it means they make more games that would actually like revive some of the genres that they have, it would be nice. But the main complaint that I have is that Square Enix always has an issue with how much money they make in general. Like if a game doesn't sell at least 15 million copies day one, they'll look at it as a bad game.
Right. So you guys know why Final Fantasy is called Final Fantasy, right? Because that was literally their last chance before they was going out of business. And if it wasn't for Final Fantasy 1, they would have been out of here. So a lot of the times, most of their games have to make money because of the way that they made their games, the price of games, how much it costs to produce these games now. So, but do you guys think the reason why Final Fantasy, the two newest Final Fantasies, didn't sell as well as they predicted, as they wanted, is because it was stuck on PlayStation?
No, I believe it's because, like I was saying before, a large basis of players, regardless of platform, just don't fuck with those games. They're just playing the same games we always mentioned. Now,
And
I
plus,
do
a lot of them
agree.
don't
I
want to
do
pay
agree because they're a
$70.
third party. I do agree because they're a third party publisher that them like locking themselves into one platform doesn't make a ton of a business sense for them, because the whole idea is if they're already not struggling, if they're not getting the returns they want, they have to find a way to grow that audience. And one way to not artificially, but to kind of grow it is if maybe you put it on different platforms, maybe you can find pockets of people that want to buy it there. But what it overall does is, for example, say you have, 100 people that aren't interested in the game, right? Or you have 100 people that could possibly be interested in the game. If you now make it where 200 people are possibly interested, there's at least a chance that if that gets popular and grows, you have you have more potential sales there than you didn't if you had people on other consoles. I don't think it will move the needle a ton for them, to be honest, just because, like I said, a lot of people aren't wanting to buy it. But I don't see it as a negative for them to do it. It's one like, well, if they're not meeting their targets, and basically it also means that means whatever money they're getting for making stuff exclusives isn't enough to where they're happy with the sales plus that deal money, then I have no problem with them saying, hey, let's release stuff on other things. Because a lot of other third parties, they normally do it. The only reason most people do single platform is either where they don't have development teams to do multiple platforms at once, or it's a money thing to where it's like those other platforms are like traditionally don't really sell well, and it doesn't make sense, and they might as well grab the bag to offset what the work. It's like, why do the extra work porting it to the other one if you can get a deal with another provider that will probably offset what you would have sold on the other platform anyway?
But see, now this is my thing about the Square Enix, and this is just specifically for Square Enix. How well would these games have sold? Not PC. We're not talking about PC. Have sold on Xbox and Nintendo. Now, granted, Final Fantasy 16 and 7 and all that stuff couldn't
Oh, on
run on the
Nintendo,
Switch.
definitely.
On Nintendo, yeah, if it could run it. So like 16
That's why I
and
say when Switch 2 comes out, you're gonna start definitely seeing some of those.
right, exactly. But so let's get Nintendo out of the way, because Nintendo, they always support RPGs, JRPGs, anything that Square does. Because you got Live Alive, you got Bravely Default, you got all these games that
Yeah.
they're already in bed with Nintendo with, that had to come out for other systems later on down the line. But in terms of Xbox, now would these games have sold well on Xbox? Because Xbox gamers, I don't
No.
know, I can't say that
And
100%.
here,
There
no,
you
no.
go.
And I'll give you my opinion. So, and it's a two-part, right? I agree it would not, but I think that's also outside of like whatever. There's a couple like contributing reasons to that. One, you could say that, for example, majority of people that I know, if they're fans of those kind of games, you've been conditioned based on track record that over the years, them games aren't coming to Xbox. So even if people like will say, oh, they weren't supporting them when they were coming on 360 and stuff, and that's accurate, right? But like right now today, if you were to go put them on Xbox, I wouldn't expect a lot of sales, because if you look at track record, most people, if you wanted to play those kind of games, at this point, people just know that you either need a Switch and a PS5 or a combination of those to play a lot of those, because that's where they normally go. So the market of people that they would address, most of their fans don't have an Xbox, or they have the other platform it is. But the second part of that is, how can you ever grow that if you never make it available to those other platforms over time? And it may take years to even move the needle. But if you never do it, you've basically just given up on that whole player base.
Well, so. For example, Xbox don't sell well in Japan, and a lot of the Japanese studios, they try to stick to Japanese companies. It's really rare that
Yeah.
they'll like try to produce a game. That's their
But
nationalism.
you can tell me, you can't tell me the new Final Fantasy and stuff aren't tailoring to the West.
No, it's catering to the West because
Maybe
of
a
the
little
way
too
that the
much.
game plays. Possibly, it's still a good game though. Still a good game.
But
So
I
how do you
buy
feel about that?
it was on Xbox because I'm on Xbox and I buy the games. But
All right, so
uh,
I got an opinion to ask everybody that plays generally on Xbox. You guys were really fine with Final Fantasy 15 going to Xbox, right?
I can't answer because I primarily do PC and PlayStation. So
No, okay. Well, GTA, you played your Final Fantasy games on Xbox too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they do have a market for it. Like a lot of people sure won't buy it day one, but they will buy it eventually. That's the only problem.
games that I cannot experience because I would have to buy them, and if I bought them and I'm not interested in said game, it would just be a waste of money. Well, I can buy the subscription service to check it out to see if I like it, to buy it.
Exactly. That's how come I was able to buy Wasteland 3 was because I played it on Xbox Game Pass, and it
Yeah,
got
and
me in the mood
normally
to
when
buy
if
it
it's
on
in Game
PlayStation.
Pass, you also get a 20%, or you get a slight discount on the game as well. Exactly. And that's a good point that you guys were telling me about with the subscription stuff. If you don't know how it plays, this is your first step into the franchise, then yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with that. But
And to be, oh my bad, go
got
ahead. I was gonna say
no, I'm
also to
just
be honest, I don't do that because y'all know how I play. But if you want to be fair about it, right? When some of these games do go day one in subscriptions, whatever, right? And you're not sure about, say you have access to PC or Xbox, right? Like we're mentioning the slight discount. If you play a little bit on Game Pass and you decide, hey, I want to support them and buy it, if you have that, like say you got Game Pass for that month to try that game, right? And you decide to buy it, in a lot of instances, the the small percentage off that game, if you go and buy it, you basically end up net zero where if it makes sense, the discount on it is almost as much as you paid for that month to have that service. So if you just paid for that month, tried it out, and then decided to buy it, you basically got an unlimited trial for the month that came out to see if you really, really like the game. And then you could just say, hey, I'm going to go buy it. And then, like I said, you almost got most of your money back because you would have bought it versus that paying $70. The other part I would say that I think is even better than a subscription, and I've said it before, and it's not because it's specifically a PC thing, but I just think everyone should do it, is all of these digital stores should do stuff like PC does, where when you buy a digital game, basically there's like an automatic mechanism to refund it if you haven't played it for at least, I think it's 2 hours, and within the first week or two, whatever. There's basically a whole workflow. If I go to request a refund through the site, it's automatically approved as a refund, no hassle, no calling, no whatever the hell it is. And it basically lets you get a 2-hour demo or trial, like the first 2 hours of the game for every game. You don't have to have premium to do a trial. You don't have to do a demo. I wish all digital stores would do that, because then it gives the whole barrier of having to have something to try it out, or like maybe I won't like it. Because we all know a lot of these games, just like movies, usually like especially the single player ones, a lot of what they do is in the beginning, there's usually some sort of scene or something to try and capture your attention. So if a lot of it moved towards the 2-hour thing, then I think a lot more people would try. Because I know a lot of people on Steam, on PC, that they try games all the time they're not sure about, because they know if it's just trash or they don't like it or broken, instant refund, no questions, no fuss, takes literally 2 minutes, they got the money back.
yeah, aren't they kind of doing that with some of the stuff on the demos, like they do like 2-hour demos and stuff like that on
Well, yeah,
PlayStation and
but
Xbox
the
now?
demos, we also, but and again, I my problem with that, no, I agree. My problem with that is if you're talking about for like PlayStation 1, you have to have the premium version of the subscription to even
No, man,
access
not
those
always.
demos.
You
Well,
can
okay,
get a
well
lot of those demos for
okay, it's
free.
not. Well, I know for some of them you do, right?
Yeah,
But
only
no,
the
but what I'm
trial ones.
saying
The
is
trials you have
instead
to
of
pay.
yeah, but what I'm saying is instead of doing that where they have to do it like I said on Steam, it's basically damn near any game. There's not like, oh, the developer has to do a special thing or the store. It's like literally that's just a policy thing of the store where it's seamless, it's easy, it's convenient, basically any game. Imagine if you could do that on PlayStation and Xbox and Switch. If you start to get it, it's like this is a bullshit game in your first hour. Like fuck this, delete this. Like for example, South Park. If you bought the new South Park hoping that was gonna be a good game and that shit was utter trash,
Oh yeah,
motherfucker. Anybody who played it for an hour was like refund, bitch.
that $40 one, right?
Yeah, the last one that came out.
Hey, go ahead, PS5 Pro.
Yeah, man. I don't. I'm gonna push back on that. Lazy is that in 2024, right? How is anybody making a bad
Can
gaming
anyone hear him?
decision? right?
they don't
Like,
have the time to waste and make a bad game
No,
anymore.
no, I understand what you're saying. So as far as making the bad decision, I agree with you on that part, but here's the other part too, right? When I was mentioning subscriptions and stuff like that, right? So also you're going to tell me there's never been games that you've been maybe interested in, but you were like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. And you would kind of just wish there was a way to try it before you bought it.
well, so I will say that on the PlayStation, if one of my numerous friends have the game, you could just play it, right? Play
Correct. But
share.
you shouldn't have to do that. It should just be something that's easy for anybody who's on there without.
Or I'd say that if I'm on the fence about a game, then there's Twitter, there's YouTube, there's so many things there's some things that I can go do and watch, like just straight gameplay. I don't have to watch reviews. I can go watch motherfucker Twitch, motherfucker play the game for hours to see if like I'll like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like
But I can't do that though. I literally have to play the game for myself to give my own opinion to it because
Yeah,
it's
there's been
fun to
games
watch
I've seen
somebody play,
gameplay
but
of, and I didn't like playing it when I played it.
like when I was watching somebody play the Witcher 2 game, it looked awful. And then when I played it myself, I enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed it more playing it myself than watching somebody play it.
Like I would never want to watch someone play a Persona game, but I enjoy playing Persona. But I would never want to watch someone play that shit.
so there's my ex was taught me this thing that you could do when you go into a restaurant, yo. Like she would send food back, and I'm not exaggerating.
Oh man, that
50% of
sounds
the
like a
time,
pain for the person that has to work at that
yo,
restaurant though.
50% of the time, no matter what restaurant we were at, she would send the food back, and it was always a thing. But I realized that you could send food back that I just don't like this. Not like I tried it, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I've never had it before. Not like I got my Chipotle and it just doesn't taste right. No, I've never had lamb chops before. I'm trying lamb chops. I don't like it. I send it back. And to me, it's kind of like if you play a game for 2 hours, right? Should that be free? Should that be free for you to do? I mean, I
To
always
try
felt
the
the way about
game.
that shit. I don't know.
I
Well,
mean,
with
like
the
I said,
game
PC's
subscription,
been
you're
doing it for
supposed to not
years.
trying it
That's
for
part of the
free.
reason they do a lot of the sales stuff is because people get the option to try without knowing that there's a whole hassle. For example, I pre-ordered a game on PlayStation. And then I decided later, let me cancel that pre-order. And every time I've had to do that, I've been on the phone for no less than an hour and then answering the questions based on shit they can already see in their system. Well, have you downloaded it yet? No, the game isn't out. It didn't pre-download. Like basically, they're asking a whole bunch of questions, and then they'll verify what you're saying, but they could already see that. Like it's just a whole fucking rigmarole, and it takes an hour to cancel a pre-order of a game that's not even out yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like there's as a
There's a
consumer, man.
workaround that because for PlayStation, I'll just put I'm buying the physical copy and I want to get a refund on the digital version.
But I don't, that's what I'm saying. That's fine. I don't like physical. I barely buy, I think like right now, physical copies of games, the only physical games I have sitting right here on this counter for PlayStation 5 are Unicorn Overlord, Neo
That's
2,
good game too.
and maybe Octopath Travelers 2. Those are the only physical
I
ones
played
I've
that
had.
on Nintendo Switch. So
Yeah, and those I got because they had good sales on them for the physical versus but I almost exclusively buy digital in most things.
Yeah, you hear beats on YouTube, you hear beats on Twitter, you hear beats on TikTok, um, Instagram, all the same. I live stream all the time. I come on the podcast every Saturday, 11:30 by me, but East Central Time by Freddie. If y'all guys ever want to check me out, I do a lot of live stream reviews and all that stuff, and I talk shit about a lot of Twitters, people on Twitter and stuff like that. I didn't want to beef with nobody today because I was hosting the space. I could have, but nah, that's not what I'm gonna do. So y'all come check me out, and Freddie always gave me this good opportunity to meet all y'all and talk to y'all. So I appreciate that, and I'm out.
Bobby, you want to do your outro real quick?
fuck, I'm still new to this. I'm Bobby. I enjoy video games and so on and so forth. And there you go.
All right, this is FreddyJGamePlay. Make sure y'all check us out on YouTube, FreddyJGamePlay, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. Twitter is where we do the live recording of the podcast. So if y'all want to tune in, follow me here, follow my co-host, so that way y'all can stay in tune when we are going live. If you're watching on a YouTube video, make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. That way you can help the algorithm out and help us out. That way we can provide more for the community. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.